Captain America: Brave New World. It comes out this weekend. We all saw it. We'll all do non-spoiler thoughts. Strangely enough, I'm going to guess who I think liked it the most out of the three of us, and the answer might shock you. That's good. I've been doing this a long time now. I realize after hearing myself say that, and the answer might shock you. Tune in. So that is something. I'll tell you what shocked me. I heard that the Batman, Robert Pattinson says they're filming it this year. Then why is it coming out in 3036? We'll talk about that. There's some Spider-Man stuff. There's more X-Men rumors. I love this latest rumor by Jeff Schneider. I heard something about Star Wars, and it's not necessarily comic related, but I got to address it because I'm going to say it's 99% not true. And I heard about this today. I'm going to say it's not true. And there's a report that I saw. Anyway, so we'll talk about that and more. There's lots of comic book movies with me, Winston, and Coy. So let's get into it, everybody. It is Capes and Cows. It's the Kristian Harloff Show. Me, Winston, and Coy. Let's do it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Capes and Cows. It's a Kristian Harloff Show. It is myself. It is Winston A. Marshall and Coy Jandro. You know, I don't know why StreamYard's doing this lately. I had Joe Manganiello on the show. Did the same thing. Like distorted. Like you guys both look. Now Winston looks good, and Coy's getting back. So we'll see. We'll see. How you guys doing, Coy? What's going on, buddy?
Excited. It feels like we're in that crazy summer of Marvel stuff, but it's early spring. We got Spider-Man on TV. We got Cap in theaters. We got Daredevil out in 2 weeks. It's like going to a comic store.
Winston, here I said in the intro, man, like I'm going to give a guess on if we are the three of us who liked Captain America: Brave New World the best.
Okay.
This is where my ranking is going to go. I think you liked it the least.
Okay.
I think Coy liked it the second least, and I think I liked it probably the best out of the three of us. I think.
All right.
Because
that's interesting.
Because I saw Winston's out of the theater reaction, and I saw Coy posted a review, and I watched a little bit of it, and I started shooting Sarah's show. But like from where I stand, it seemed like you were analyzing it, you were breaking it down. There were things, but Winston, you just didn't really dig this movie.
No, overall, it just wasn't for me. And it's the funny thing is I felt, and I think maybe part of it is the more I've been hanging with you guys, the more I take a second to have a little bit of a critical eye.
Yeah.
But the first thing I really noticed, and this isn't really a spoiler, I thought that the first act was way overscored. So it felt when you had discussed about seeing some of the acting scenes that they had released early and how sometimes it felt almost soap opera-y, even the scoring like that put me in a mood where I was like, what are we doing? And so when you throw that in for me, where I thought that some of the storylines felt half-baked, and that kind of comes from the standpoint of, I think when you do that many extensive reshoots, that can happen. It just didn't work for me quite as well. There's some really great moments, but I personally, it's better than Quantumania, but it's giving me those same vibes where like
So
initial, yeah.
It's hilarious that you said that, because someone on yesterday's show said that I gave Quantumania like a 3.9 or something. I said, I did? I said, that's not accurate. I thought I don't mind it, but when I watch if I was to watch the two of these movies again, I would rather watch this one. I like this movie better than Quantumania. So it's interesting. Like, I don't know where my ranking was on that one. So, but again, I have to rewatch Quantumania. I remember just really disliking the ending, but I thought it was a good science fiction movie, but not a good Ant-Man movie. So I got to rewatch that one. But Coy, I don't know, man. Like for me, this movie, I mean, I gave this a 2.9 out of 5. I couldn't quite get it to fresh because I think it's a very messy movie. It's a sloppily edited movie, but it felt like an episode. And I agree with you, Winston, so much that there's just so many things that they already did in Falcon and Winter Soldier that they're just doing again. It's like, here's Cap again. I don't know if I'm worthy of the shield. We already determined that you were. We know that you're already, worthy of the shield. But Anthony Mackie is really good. I like him a lot. I loved Isaiah in it. I thought it was great. I thought Harrison Ford was really good.
Carl was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought Harrison Ford was really good as Ross and did a good job. I thought he had the best character arc out of all of them. Giancarlo was wasted. I said this many times, and I'll say it again. I love Danny Ramirez as an actor. I thought he was annoying in this role. I thought he was so annoying, and it almost ruined him for me. I'm like, oh, and I know it wasn't his fault. It was the script, and the way he was directed. But I just felt like I watched like a subpar episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I liked it better than the Marvels. I liked it better than Love and Thunder. I liked it better than Quantumania because I felt like it drove the story forward as far as the MCU. There were some good things, but you've heard both of us, Coy. Where do you land? Do you land higher than me, or do you land lower than Winston?
I think I'm exactly with you. I said 3 out of 5, but it's not quite a 3. So 2.9 I like. I hadn't even considered the decimal. I do think it's about right there for me because it feels like a bridge episode in TV. In anime terms, like a filler episode. It's not quite bad, but it's not quite great. Like it's closer to good than bad, but it's not quite even there. It has a lot wrong in the first act where it's the exposition is really heavy. It then does get interesting places in the third act. I really enjoyed the action in the third act, but my two biggest issues were it isn't focused on what it has to say, and I think that's because it was 2 to 3 to 4 movies depending on which rumor you believe. But I definitely think whatever the first movie was had an opinion. And by the time we got the final cut, the opinion was very distorted and very like brushed over. There were a couple moments where they would, like say something and I'd be like, huh, an interesting plot. And then they'd be like, but we're going to go over here. And it was a really weird choice to, I get we're living in a very sensitive world, but if you've got a movie called Captain America and he doesn't stand for something specific.
Go ahead, Winston.
I was saying the only thing he stood for was almost a direct echo of Steve defending Bucky, but that was it. There wasn't the same. Then I look at, say, Civil War, where he is like, no, you don't get it, and things go all hell breaks loose type scenario. I agree with Coy, and I think that's one of the things I couldn't put my finger on it with is they do seem to at times set up so many different story elements where you can understand why are we not addressing this, and it's because we kind of took our eraser but you can see the faint lines of what was written there previously, and so it can get frustrating at times, and I think that's probably why I kept getting taken out of it. Would be no.
Right. That's the sloppily edited, like kind of messy thing I was talking about. But you know what it is for me? I think it's because I was expecting it to be so bad and it wasn't. And I didn't have, and they never broke out into song and dance, which is good. That never happened. So no musical planet. They didn't tell stupid jokes and start, they tried to take itself seriously. There's some jokes and things that like every Marvel movie should have, and I thought a lot of it felt flat. Like Danny Ramirez, all of his stuff fell horribly flat. I thought for me, like they were fighting at one point, and he punches somebody, and he goes punk ass. I'm like, who's that supposed to make laugh? Like who? No one is laughing. Please stop doing that. So there was those types of things, but I just enjoyed his journey and watching. I think it's a matter of if you really like Anthony Mackie, you're like, okay, what they're trying to do here. And like I said, the storyline with Thunderbolt Ross, ultimately, can you really change? Can you make up for mistakes in the past and those types of things? I thought that worked, but I don't disagree with anything that you guys are saying. It's just a matter of enjoyment, right? If you did. And I found myself going, I thought this was going to be like a really bad movie. And to me, it wasn't a really bad movie. It was a subpar movie, which I said, I will disagree with you on this, Winston. I think that if you're a Marvel fan in general, that if you want to see where this movie takes us into the Avengers movies, I think you should see it in the theater. I think that you should see. I don't think you should avoid it. I think in your out of the theater reaction, you said if you wanted to avoid this one, you can avoid it. I don't know if you should, because I think that they set up stuff. And that's if you care about the MCU. If you don't care about the MCU, just like Captain America. But I think they set up too much to avoid it.
My only pushback on that, and this isn't a spoiler in that it is at the paramount of it, and it's been in some of the release stuff. We're talking about the Celestial, that from Eternals. And that is the only thing, but you really could get the quickest of explanations as to what happened here, and that's it.
You think that's the only thing? You think that's the only thing they set up in the movie?
Of major import, we know
I don't agree.
we know that
The
Red
word
Hulk is here.
You just used,
huh?
Yeah,
you said of major import. They talk about a very important import.
Yeah, they
well, no, I understand.
But
that
even that,
too.
but even the post-credit scene that they set up, there's other things that the reason why the president wants to talk to Anthony Mackie in the first place of what of what he wants him to do and those things like this.
Sure.
There's a lot that's set up that I think is crucial to the MCU thing that they're doing. And again, if you're just a Captain America fan or just a casual Marvel fan, then yeah, you can avoid it because there's some people who just like to watch the Marvel movies and not really follow everything.
But I guess that's part of my argument of the idea that Coy initiated of that's interesting. Oh, we're not really talking about. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, we're not really talking about that. Like you literally, it felt like to me, instead of going and sitting down and being like, here's the meal. It's like, here's just a little sliver of this one. Here's a little sliver of that one. Here's a little sliver of this. And I was just like, oh my God, pick a lane. Like that was more my concern, I guess. And that's where I kept getting pulled out of it, is because I was like, I'm trying to understand.
I'm not again. I understand that. I'm just saying, as far as like, if I do think it's one of those ones that, that people should, if they want to see what happens going further, it doesn't mean don't wait for it on Disney Plus. You definitely can wait for it on Disney Plus, but that's not watch this one. Yeah,
maybe I didn't articulate that very well.
You're saying it's not necessary to see in the theater.
Go in the theater, and that hurts me because I want to support this cast. Obviously, it's a Black-led film. Obviously, my boy Carl's in it, and he was fantastic. So I want the movie to do well, but at the same time, if I'm just being honest, you could wait till Disney Plus.
Right. I thought you said had to kind of avoid it altogether.
I meant specifically a theater.
Specifically, that I don't disagree with that. But Coy, they do set up some stuff. I actually liked that element of it. That I was like, oh, okay, this is the first movie, because I didn't get that in the Marvels. Certainly didn't get it in Love and Thunder. And a lot of these things they try to do it with Quantumania, obviously with Kang, but a lot of what they were trying to. This seems like, okay, look, this is going further here, and here are the things to pay attention to. I thought they did a decent job of setting up what comes in the future.
I thought it was really interesting because it is usually a few Marvel movies a year, right? Like we usually have 2 or 3. Daredevil is coming up, but Deadpool was the only thing we had last year that's like in the MCU canon specific. But even that is MCU canon, but it's kind of wrapping things up while sprinkling in new things and using MCU characters. So Deadpool and Wolverine at points felt like an MCU movie, but it also had a lot to do that was outside of MCU. So it was really interesting watching a true MCU film after a full year. Like Deadpool and Wolverine's the only thing we got last year. And it reminded me of like, oh, this is really cool to see like this step ladder of things that are going to be important. Because I do think there's a fair amount. And I do think the overall raising of stakes via what Harrison Ford had to say, I liked those concepts. But everything that I felt like was an interesting concept, they just misused the concept. So I still think the movie is good because it brought up interesting ideas. I still think the movie is good because of the third act. I still think Anthony Mackie deserves leading roles now that we've seen him in Run. Like I really think we got a lot of those things out of it. But it was almost impressive how much they misused concepts or danced away from them out of fear of the public.
Well, I also think that they had they had a different movie at one point, and it's kind of where we're going to go though, Winston, with the article.
Yeah. The last thing I was going to say is I think that is probably where I am taking it much harder than you two are. Mm-hmm. I didn't see the scenes that you mentioned, Kristian, because you were like, they put some stuff out. And geez,
the two scenes they showed were the scene was the fight scene mixed with Danny Ramirez taking out the 2 guys, and for some reason the bike guy just drives off the side of the road and doesn't even get hit. That one scene. And then the other scene was the scene where Harrison Ford's on the treadmill and the Secret Service, God bless her. Again, I don't know if it's just directing. I didn't think she was a very good actress, but maybe that's just been because of the script. And she came in and had this conversation, and it is such a struggle to get through.
So that being said, because I didn't watch it, I don't think I had as low of expectations as you. So I think that's the other thing that's doing it too, in the same way that I'm now having more of a critical eye, having talked with this kind of stuff with you for so long.
Yeah.
I think that I went in with higher hopes, and maybe that's
Sure.
because I wanted it to be good and I hadn't seen anything outside of those
Right,
initial couple
right.
trailers.
And that's exactly probably why I didn't, because I already saw those scenes and went, "Oh, what am I in for?" And I didn't get that. There was never a time when I was checking, I was like, "Oh my God, I want to get out of here. What am I watching?" I was like, whatever. I literally felt like it's fine. So with a friend, and we were just like, it wasn't terrible. I was like, nah, it wasn't terrible. It just was there. It was messy. But apparently there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. And there was an article that Vulture came out with calling it a tense Marvel shoot, a lot of A-list egos. And we'll get into that in just a second. But before we do, I also want to tell you, we're once again, you guys are battling Roxy today. Roxy sits at, do you want to take a guess at what she's got?
I don't even want to know. It's probably like 250 or some shit.
Want to take a guess, Coy?
203.
242, guys.
God damn it.
42.
what is in the water right now? That Roxy is just.
This is going to be her. I think this is going to be her third. This will be her third in a row. Is what if she can beat you guys. You guys currently stand at, again, a very solid 29. Only into story one. But Mike and
Steph have a hard out at noon today because I have Valentine's Day plans. So
yeah, same. Okay. We'll be
aware of that while attacking this.
Yeah, I'm only gonna basically what we're gonna do is cover this Captain America story. We'll cover like the Batman story, the X-Men thing, and then we'll get into the questions because the meat of it, I think people want to hear about the Captain America stuff. So we're gonna talk about that. And here is this particular article. Now I'm going to read a lot of this because it was summarized for some reason yesterday. I think Vulture realized that people were clicking on that article because it was everybody could access it. Now they're charging people to read it. And I said, nope, there's someone who summarized it and I'll find that. And that's exactly what happened. To quote Marvin Gaye's Trouble Man, there's only three things for sure: taxes, death, and trouble. Captain America Brave New World, starring Anthony Mackie as the Star-Spangled successor to Chris Evans' retired super soldier, was a troubled production, according to a new report. Marvel Studios movie was reportedly beset by expensive reshoots, unfavorable test screenings, and A-list egos and diva behavior, causing one anonymous crew member to describe the Hulk-sized show as tense and plagued by a politicized environment. Vulture reports that the $180 million budget Captain America 4 underwent a costly reshoot, which was reported in May of 2024, directed by first-timer Julius Ona. The film wrapped principal photography in the spring of 2023, but then returned to Atlanta for a 22-day shoot. Marvel punched up the film with new action sequences, adding The Boys actor Giancarlo Esposito in a villain role, later revealed to be Seth Volier Sidewinder, and removing Seth Rollins as a member of the Serpent Society. While Brave New World wrapped principal photography before the writer's strike and the actors' strike shut down most of Hollywood in 2023, it was reported at the time that its post-production process was hampered and delayed, causing Disney to push the film from July 26, 2024, that went to Deadpool and Wolverine that date, to February 14, 2025, Marvel's first February release since Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantum underperformed with a $106 million opening weekend. I think they're going to keep movies out of February after this one. According to Vulture, the reshoots were a course correction following test screenings that a crew member described as disastrous, resulting in Esposito's late addition and major sequences being cut or reworked. Although Cap 4 retitled from New World Order has been characterized as an espionage political thriller, Vulture reports the character of the newly elected U.S. President, Thaddeus Ross, replacing the late William Hurt, created uncomfortable political resonances to President Trump after Marvel said it was taking a new approach to the comic book character Sabra after Israeli actress Shira Haas was announced in a role in 2022. Then, amid the Israel-Hamas war, it was clarified that Ruth Bat-Saraf is not a Mossad agent like her comics counterpart, but a former Black Widow turned high-ranking government U.S. official. I think everyone on the crew knew this was not going to be a good film, the crew member told Vulture, with the source adding, "We had a lot of frustrations on the set." Regarding the back and forth with the inclusion or exclusion of the Serpent Society, the source said it was on, then it was off, then it was on again. That was very expensive to do. My coworkers who spent more time on Brave New World than I did said, yeah, this has been a really rough production. According to the crew member, Disney executives tried to temper political allusions to reach a broader audience, a palpable move that has been criticized in critics' mixed reviews. People are conspiracy theorists. Some people think the original title, New World Order, means Jews run the world. And now there's a war going on. It's like all these things that were not predicted when Cap 4 was given the production green light coming to fruition. Trump, the war in Gaza, the tensions in America right now. Vulture quotes the crew member as saying, Ford 82 has a reputation as a curmudgeon, but the crew member described the Star Wars actor as one of the crankiest performers they've ever dealt with and described for him as a diva. According to Vulture, another source close to production said that there's no truth that Ford was unusually challenging, and the star was seen palling around with his co-stars in good spirits at Tuesday's red carpet premiere. According to the crew member, Ford seemed to hate the motion picture process to turn into the Red Hulk, even though he hulked out on stage at San Diego Comic-Con and has since spent the press tour praising the fun he's had in the MCU. When Harrison was done, he was done. Everybody was trying to scramble to make him happy. That made for an awkward work environment. Reshoots are part of making any movie like this with a big budget, but this isn't Marvel's first rodeo. Entire sequences we shot won't make it into the film, and that is very expensive. I'm not going to say that the director was not equipped to handle the production. Basically, dealing with A-list egos was the issue. It was mainly just Harrison Ford, so that was a little disappointing. They continued. At the end of the day, it was the most tense Marvel shoot I've ever worked on. Everyone kind of felt their buttholes tightening a little bit. It's like, Marvel Studios, Captain America, Brave New World, yada yada. Okay, so they end with a butthole comment.
Not the butthole tightening comment.
So I will tell you though, this article is all stuff that we just kind of like have been speculating for weeks, months, almost a year. It's like, okay, the expensive reshoots, we know it's not really when Mike made a great point the other day, and I hate to say that, but it's true. Mike he said, the truth is the 180 million that they are reporting is the 180 is that's how much the movie cost that you watched.
Yep.
The one that you saw, that finished product, that's the 180. You asked us what the budget is. What about the other stuff? Well, that's not what you asked us. You asked us how much that cost. And that's basically what it is, because there's no way with all that stuff cut out and everything, there's no way that movie costs 180. So as far as Harrison Ford, you hear those things. It's funny because I've interviewed him before. People have interviewed him before. It's kind of his shtick to do the, what do you mean? He's a funny guy also. He is, but he's a grouchy old man. And he knows it. He plays into it. I don't know if I buy the diva behavior stuff as much as it's a matter of, 82. Oh, an 82-year-old guy doesn't like the Hulk makeup and doesn't like to do all that stuff? Really? Colin Farrell didn't like doing it as Penguin, and he's in his 40s. So
Jennifer Lawrence gave up after 2 movies. She said,
right.
No, I ain't sitting in this damn chair.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, trying to protect old Harrison Ford. But a lot of this other stuff, though, when it comes to the set itself, it just seems like, it was messy. Now, the political side of it is interesting because, look, this is the thing. If you're going to do a political movie in general, you got to know the world changes every day, every hour, every minute. So you got to stick to your guns no matter what you're going to do. Because if you start shifting stuff around because you get nervous, then don't do that kind of movie. Corey, how do you feel about this overall article, man?
I think the Harrison Ford, I'm with you. Like, I don't know if it's me defending Harrison Ford, but I've only had a couple interactions with him that were hyper positive. And I do think he leans into the curmudgeon brand more than he actually is. He was downright jolly. Like one of the longer conversations I had with him about making movies. And every quote I've heard is him pursuing this one, him liking the Marvel idea and seeing friends of his do Marvel movies and thinking he wanted to play in that sandbox. And all the press I've seen him do for Shrinking and everything else, I feel like he's actually in the opposite place in his life right now, where he's trying to appreciate everything. So I'm just gonna, not for me. As far as the, hostile environment on the set, like that's unfortunate. It's always hard when it's an anonymous source, because you don't know if someone just wants like their little pat on the back from an interview, but since they're not getting it, like how is that going across? I do think the political element is what doesn't work for me in this film. Is it's a movie called Captain America Brave New World, and the last thing I would describe this movie as is brave.
Right.
I think the movie itself has a lot going for it, and I think the movie itself does a lot of MCU building, and I think the movie itself shows a lot of great acting and a great idea for story. But the bravery would come from making a statement about having a red rage-filled Hulk monster in the White House in 2025, and that imagery is in this movie, and the things that are in this movie allude to it. But every time it could be an actual statement, it kind of goes away. Like there's a line in this movie in the third act between, and I won't give it away because it's the day of release, but there's a line between Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford that is a theme in the film that I thought would be a very interesting thing to do in 2016, 2020, or 2024. Like there is a theme about the two of them that I really thought like, hey, there's your movie, and they never address it again. And if you're going to make a Captain America movie, I do think politics are a part of it. And I know the average commenter of YouTube is like, keep politics out of my movies and keep politics out of comic movies. But like, 1, art is political. 2, comics are political. And 3, Captain America. So I do feel like
political.
I know.
Like neutering the character that would have the most to say, and a movie about Sam Wilson. Like, what I always think of with Sam Wilson is he represents America in a way that Steve Rogers never could, and he represents an America that is different than the one you usually can see conveyed by this character. I feel like we saw Sam Wilson conveying Captain America more in Falcon Winter Soldier because it was addressing his America, and there was so much they could have done with an imprisoned for 30 years, Isaiah Bradley, that was wrongfully imprisoned, that represents a lot of the wrongs happening. And it even represents a VP we just had running for president. So I would have loved to have seen some things said instead of some things winked at.
Maybe that's what it is for me. And then I'll get back to the article is I had mentioned kind of the half-baked story points. I think it's not just story. I think it's the themes and the stuff that you were saying you want to challenge. And ironically, New World Order to me fits better to what this movie is. And it almost feels like Brave New World would have been a better fit for whatever the movie was. As far as Harrison Ford being grumpy, the man is 80-something and has made millions and is done. If he wants to be fucking grumpy, unless he's calling people out their names, he can do what he wants. Who cares? And on top of the fact that I would argue everything I have also heard about Harrison Ford, I haven't had the honor of meeting him, is that he is super sweet. You know what I'm saying? And he just doesn't suffer fools. So if you don't know what you're talking about or you're being obsessively annoying,
it's been around forever.
He'd probably be like, get away from me.
Exactly.
Get off my set.
He's like, what? He's like, what did they ask him? It's like, who shot first? You or Greedo? Who cares?
Does not suffer fools. And maybe this crew member just was an annoying Indiana Jones fan. Like it just
maybe
that's not the experience.
But that's the thing though, is that everybody how often and how much did he actually really talk to Harrison Ford? Right? It was just like, oh, Harrison's, again. You're having problems getting the 82-year-old guy to move real fast and get to the set and want to be, moving around and jumping around. It's like, it's Harrison Ford. He's like, okay, yeah, it's and if he was goofing around with everybody else, that's one thing. But it's more about, to me, because you can't point a finger and say, all right, if all these movies were the biggest problems, it was Harrison Ford being a curmudgeon on set. No. I think the biggest problem was that they didn't stick to the guns of what they wanted the movie to be. What I totally agree with you with 100%, Winston, is that the look of the villain was awful.
It was awful. Really bad, and especially knowing what he looks like in the comics, man.
Yeah, it did change. And but what I will say about this, and I don't know if you guys agree with me or disagree with me on this, and I didn't mind this because I liked the movie, but I felt this was more a sequel to The Incredible Hulk than I did a fourth Captain America movie.
I would agree with that. I would make the argument that, I've since come around on this argument with Black Panther, but I used to say this is more of a Killmonger movie than a T'Challa movie, but I've kind of swung back around on that. But this one in particular, it really was so focused on Ross. And moments when we would be like, oh, I would love to explore more of what Sam is kind of thinking.
No, it was more, I'm telling you, it was more about even the villain. I mean, the main villain is obviously Hulk villain. It was his story, all that stuff. Yeah,
exactly. The fact that it was a Hulk villain. I think the fact that they tried it. They tried. There's a moment right as we're going from Act 2 to Act 3 that I know y'all probably know what I'm talking about, where Sam has a conversation with someone, and that felt like a means of being like, this is a Sam movie. But even that then felt like the conversation he had,
right,
almost kind of felt more of like, even though it was supposed to be about him, it kind of felt about them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
totally,
even really focus on. So anyway,
but it is. Yeah,
I think a huge problem with this film is that the marketing, the film itself has a ticking clock element, and the marketing negated that 100%.
Well, it's just, what someone brought up I think Mike brought it up actually again. Damn it, I hate giving him that much credit. So,
all right, Mike.
I know. He made this point, which is valid. It's the first time, at least that I remember, and Coy, you probably have a better memory on this than me, but Kevin Feige did not do an interview at the red carpet for this one.
Oh wow!
Didn't even talk about it. That's interesting.
Also, was there no Marvel fanfare in your guys' movie?
What do you mean?
We didn't have the Marvel like
no,
I didn't see it.
I don't even remember.
Which so the same thing as Civil War. Civil War didn't either. If
maybe
I
that's a
Civil War didn't.
Civil War normally there's like some sort of buildup and it just immediately pops up the 1992 or whatever the thing was.
From when that happened.
Ours didn't.
But it ties. No, but it ties. Yeah, but Winston. But it eventually goes into that though. You're right because I just watched it. It starts with the event that happens with Bucky, but then after that over, then it goes into the intro. There's no intro at all. That's interesting. I don't know. Anyway, let's before we move on from this topic, I do want to say ask you guys as we always do because the box office now with this coming up, you've got some people that were guessing anywhere between 85 to 90. It does seem though what I've noticed, I feel like the audience is going to like this movie better than critics, and not loving, but just saying basically it's fine. I think critics are diving way too deep into it. And like there were certain times I was reading one, I'm like, there was one review that I read yesterday, and I literally said out loud, I was like, get over yourself. I'm like, you are not as special as you think you are. I'm like, look at where I went to school, and I'm like, give me a break. But either way, I think they're going to like it. Now, does that mean that people are going to go out and see it? Because of I don't know. Overall, I think this movie is going to do, I think, 87 million opening weekend, which is not great, but a 3-day weekend. Winston, what do you think?
I mean, the fact that you have a 3-day weekend, I will lend it to, especially because I'll be honest, man. I mean, you look at the audience score, and even when you go under my page, the number of people that are like, I guess I understand why you feel that way. I had a great time. So I'm going to say it'll probably hit like 90. I'll split the difference between 90 and 95. 93. I think it'll hit 93.
Coy?
That's where I was going to go. I was going to split the difference. I went to AMC last night to see my number one favorite movie of the weekend. And it was slammed. Like it was crazy. Like it felt like Marvel.
Paddington?
So, yeah, I love Paddington so much, dude.
Was it good the third one, even without the director?
Yeah, so this weekend Paddington, The Gorge, Cat 3. Like I loved this weekend. This weekend was something for everybody.
Okay, I got to watch The Gorge. We started watching it last night, but then we realized I didn't want to invest and know that I was going to turn it off in 15 minutes to go to sleep. So
you want to watch that one as an arc. But The Gorge is also exceptional. Like good. I gave the first two Paddingtons 5 stars. I gave this Paddington 4 stars. A marked step down, but still better than most movies.
Still good, because I think
still an A-.
Okay, because I was missing the director.
And it's missing what's her name from that Fish movie? Sally Hawkins.
Oh, right.
But it has so much heart and love, and dude, Olivia Colman in this is amazing. Like she's Paddington good. But I digress. But when I went last night, it was slammed. I'm gonna go 96 million just so I'm a little high.
Okay.
Fair. I just realized what this movie was for me. Did you both go to AMC to see this?
I did. Yeah.
Did you actually see the collapsible shield popcorn bucket while you were there?
No.
Okay. So I'm in line and I'm thinking to myself, damn, that bucket, the shield and that is dope. I might have to spend the money on this and it's gonna be a treat for myself. And then I got close to it and I was like, this shit look cheap as hell. Yeah. That is kind of how I felt about the movie.
Don't get too close.
Hey, yo, Anthony Mackie in the lead, bro, and Carl in this, Red Hulk. Ooh, this shit cheap as hell.
Yeah, it does look really bad.
As hell.
Carl came to my screening. I thought of you, Winston.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude, he is one of the sweetest individuals in the whole world, man.
I'm curious. People are putting their predictions in there, and a lot of people are in the 80, 85 area. We'll see. All right, we're going to move on. We got some other stuff to talk about before we get to the questions. One of the things, this is not comic book movie related, but I just saw this today. Star Wars. There's a report on comic book movie that the Mara Jade, that they're developing a TV show, and I'm like, really? Like that doesn't really line up to anything I've ever heard about how they feel about Mara Jade over there. And then I just kind of did some digging, and from what I hear, that's not true at all. So I'm not even going to report on it because when I hear it, it's absolutely false. So there you go. Anyway, let's get to this next story because this is a good one. The Batman star, Robert Pattinson, says when part 2 begins shooting, Batman star Robert Pattinson shared a big update on when Matt Reeves' long-delayed sequel begins shooting, and it appears the movie is on track for its scheduled 2027 release. Batman was released in 2022, and by the time the Batman 2 arrives in theaters, roughly 5.5 years have passed since we first met Robert Pattinson's Dark Knight. That's a long wait for the sequel, and the movie will also have competition for whatever DC Studios dreams up for the next DCU's Batman. Following multiple delays, the Batman Part 2 does appear to be taking shape, and Pattinson shared an update at the Mickey 17 premiere yesterday evening. Asked when shooting begins, the actor said, "I think at the end of the year." That's crazy. And I know what it's about, but I can't tell anyone, but it's very cool. It's very exciting. The interviewer was pretty clueless. I love that. And under the belief that Batman sequel had already started shooting. As a result, Pattinson didn't really get the chance to share any additional updates about where filmmaker Matt Reeves plans to take the franchise. That is the most polite way for that person to say this. Coy, so many times you and I have been sitting there and watching some interviewers, and we're like, turn into Sebastian Maniscalco. What are you doing? Ask a follow-up. It's like, what are you doing? Wait a minute. Hold on. You're not filming already? It's like, shut up. Ask about what the movie is. Ask who the villain is. What are you doing? It drives me crazy. Like sometimes I remember when I went and it's where I met Kelly Carter, because if you don't know Kelly, she's an amazing interviewer. And I went and saw it was the Lion King premiere, and they were doing it, and I always kind of go, let's see who they have asking these questions, because it's always the generic, no one listening, like, okay, and I'm like, great. So here's Kelly. And I'm like, I didn't know Kelly at the time. I was like, and right away, I'm like, all right, let's see. And just crushes it, listens, asks a question, but because of the answer that was given, spins off in a different direction because she wants to stay in the moment. And because I remember having on her on, I told Marshall, who was at Disney at the time, publicist, how impressed I was with her, and we had her on Collider Live like right afterwards because I was just like, she was so good. But like I could hear the frustration in that article. Corey, did you? But
I love the sass of like I'm gonna handle this, but I know I could have done it better. I also think like when you watch those clips, it's always so hard when you're in our job where you're like, just let me play. Like I imagine an actor when they watch actors not acting well, is like, why didn't I get this role? Like I went out for this. That's how I feel hosting half the time. But
yeah.
I ran into Marshall yesterday. Paddington.
Oh,
Paddington.
Was he there? That's good.
Yeah, he's doing great. Met his hubby for the first time.
Okay.
But what's it called? I think this is a reasonable timeline. I think that's where we're going with the conversation. If this starts shooting at the end of the year, that gives it, a 3 or 4 month shoot into Q1 next year, maybe early Q2, and then 6 months post-production, and then have it out in the fall. Like, I think that works. I hope it has a long production time. Like, I hope it actually shoots practically like the first one did. Like, I don't know how long the first film shot, but that movie felt like it wasn't made. Okay, an example. I worry that Fantastic Four started shooting after Superman wrapped, because that meant they had everything kind of already constructed, and then the actors just went in, did their thing, and left. When a movie is practical, it tends to take a little longer. It tends to be more organic on set on the day. So I'm hoping a longer production for the Batman, because that means like it'll be more like the first film, which felt like a Fincher movie and lived in sets, especially after the Penguin 2. This is a high stakes thing. 5 years in waiting, the Penguin 2 being that good, and it's got to follow up the Batman. I think this is a reasonable time frame.
What do you think, Winston?
I'm still caught up on both. I don't know if you saw the text I sent you, because
I respond. Stay on target.
But I mean, look, I am glad that they're getting it underway. I think Coy is spot on that when you're dealing with a more practical situation, you want it to take that time. I would be worried if they were just like, oh yeah, no, we're done in like 2 months, and because then that would lean heavily into way more like kind of CGI, whatever. And again, we're dealing with a more realistic Batman. So even if they are going to somehow involve Clayface, as we have, kind of alluded to things like that or whatever else, you really want it to feel as realistic as possible. So you need to take your time to do these things. So that's fine. I'm fine with it being earlier than it is. I'm still fascinated by the stories of these interviewers you're talking about just being complete ass. That's funny to me.
It's just I don't want to get into it again. It just drives me crazy. Anyway, all right, we got more to talk about. There's a big rumor as far as X-Men casting. We're gonna get into that in just a second. Before we do, I tell you guys every single day, I give you the best options for some great sponsors here, and I got some really good ones for you right now. Check it out. NordVPN. If you guys didn't know about NordVPN, I'm gonna tell you now because you need them. You need a good VPN, and NordVPN is the one that I have been doing. Whether you're watching a sporting event, a TV show, movie, the ones that aren't available in your region, you switch to your virtual location to a country which is showing that event. You can protect your private data like bank details, passwords, online identity. NordVPN can switch your virtual location, allowing you to save money by purchasing flights, hotels, subscriptions from other countries at a cheaper price. It's the fastest VPN in the world. There's no buffering. There's no lagging while you're streaming. It is great. NordVPN, you can use an account and it can be used up to 10 devices. So if you want to get the best discount off of your NordVPN plan, you go to nordvpn.com/KH show, and our link will also give you 4 extra months on the 2-year plan. There's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The link is in the podcast episode description box. So make sure you go and you check that out. I'm also going to tell you guys, as I've told you guys many times over, that if you're not doing this already, after I've been telling you for months upon months, AG1, baby. AG1. And John, have you tried AG1 yet?
I got the order coming next week. This week coming up. Brother.
I absolutely love AG1. And for those people who don't know AG1, I'm going to tell you now. AG1 is the best energy that you can have during the day. And I love AG1 because I want to get a nice kick in my step when I'm waking up in the morning, So for me, I like to put it in the cup that I have. I have this cup and I shake it up and just have really, really great energy throughout the day. I was never a big vitamins person. So, and taking separate vitamins all the time, and you just put it all in one cup and that's it. And especially now, and I'm one of the things that we're going to be moving the show soon, and I'm trying to get myself in better health, and I'm going to be doing that. And winter right now, it's going to be hard just in general to get up in the morning or go outside for a morning walk or a run because of the cold. And for me, AG1 just gives me that energy, gets me out, and I'm ready. Plus, by the way, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. You want to commit to your health with your partner, with your significant other. And research has shown that having a partner can increase the likelihood of habit formation, or speaking to doing that and making sure that you guys are doing that maybe together. It works. So it is never too late to create a new healthy habit for 2025. So try AG1 for yourself. It is something that I've actually been able to stay consistent with, and that's why I've been partnering with AG1 for so long. And AG1 is now offering new subscribers a free $76 gift when you sign up. You'll get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. So you got to go to drinkag1.com/big thing. That's right. Go to drinkag1.com/big thing and you get this offer. That's drinkag1.com/big thing to start your new year on a healthier note. And this is one that I have just recently discovered, and I'm so glad that I did. And I got to tell you guys about Stitch Fix. And now Stitch Fix, this is going to be talking about Valentine's Day, man. Shopping is horrible for me. It's terrible for me. The way that I have now found a great way to shop is through Stitch Fix. It's an online personal styling thing. I was like, yeah, send that my way. I hate shopping. I'm always sitting on when my wife and my kids are going to the mall. I'm the guy sitting on the bench outside checking my phone because I'm like, I don't know, I'll just order it online. I don't know who to talk to about this stuff. Stitch Fix, you get a stylist who understands your style and understands your size, the budget, and they do all the shopping for you. So great. Shopping and figuring out your style, it's overwhelming. When it comes to getting dressed, sometimes I don't even know where to start. But I love having this now, this Stitch Fix stylist. Tell me all these new things. You're going to see a bunch of new looks coming my way. You just give the stylist the size, the budget preferences. You order boxes when you want it, how you want it. There's no subscription required. It's great. They just send me the pieces plus recommendations, styling tips. It's awesome. No stores, no crowds, no stress, just personalized looks that you're going to love. Stitch Fix makes it so easy. It is personal styling for everyone. You get started today at stitchfix.com/KHS. That's easy to remember. That's stitchfix.com/KHS. All right. Thank you again. As I've told you many times over, I mean, a lot of you guys know that when you support the channel by getting yourself something, you really are. I mean, like I said, you're getting yourself something, but you really are helping us out and keeping us on the air. You've been doing that for a while. So thank you for doing that, and I appreciate you. Okay, so we got some other stuff. You know, what I wanted to tell both you guys, and I know you're both going to appreciate this. Right now, Sam, who's been doing the, I'm going to show this to you guys in a second, but Sam has been doing the reactions with me, and we just released Captain Marvel today. And it's funny because she didn't want to, promote her social media stuff just for her kids and the things. She's like, I'm going to create one for my, for the Sam Reacts thing, so the fans can see certain things I put in there. She's like, you think anyone will follow me? So today I wrote on the Captain Marvel thing, she got like 1,000 followers already.
Wow. Let's go.
It's great. So, and she's like, what the hell's happening? So we did shoot the Endgame reaction, right? And you guys have to remember how attached she is to Tony Stark, right? This is her journey.
No.
I'm going to show you just a little bit of this so people can see it. But so right at this point, the snap had happened and from Tony, and she's like, she was cheering, and then now she sees him. This is when she sees him kind of like, in the shits. And look at me looking like, when's she gonna
on
power?
Is he gonna die? Shut up, Kristian.
She's mad at you.
Oh yeah, watch. You'll see. Wait, it gets significantly. It gets like significantly more and more.
Oh, poor baby. Oh.
It goes on for quite a while. So that's
just accepting loss in real time. I've also never reacted to someone reacting before. It's surprisingly tragic.
I know.
Nope.
Yeah.
But
she was, someone wrote it. She's grieving. She was grieving, and she grieves throughout the movie. But that one, like that's a fraction. Like I literally almost went like this because I felt so bad for her.
Dude.
But yeah.
Good for her, because look, both Infinity War and Endgame, both both snaps.
I've never done this before, but I'm going to do it once. I'm putting Ed Harrell in timeout. I love Ed. He's going in timeout. Don't tell me how to promote my show. He's like, he goes, show a screenshot, not the whole clip. I didn't show the whole clip. There's no footage on there. You just saw her crying. I didn't see anything. So anyway, I love Ed, but he's getting timeout for that one. Okay, we have other things to discuss, and this rumor I gotta bring up, man, because this is an interesting one to say the least. So I don't know why it's not. Is that it? Oh, that's it. Okay. So this is once again from our buddy Jeff Snyder, and this is a big one. Do you guys hear this one yet?
Is this about a certain Southern belle? Because I
love this rumor. This is my favorite rumor I've heard so far, and I hope Jeff is right. He usually is. So let's see. Margaret Qualley rumored to be in contention to play Rogue. Another X-Men casting rumor here, and this time we're hearing that the Substance star Margaret Qualley might be in the mix to play fan favorite powerhouse Rogue. The X-Men casting rumors continue to swirl, and the latest report is sure to get a lot of attention. According to the Hot Mike's Jeff Snyder, the Substance star, Margaret Quayle is being eyed for the role of Rogue. We have no idea if she's being seriously considered or just a person of interest. I feel like after this rumor goes out, she's going to be a person of interest. I think people are going to lose their minds about this one. Rogue's real name is Anna Marie, is easily one of the most popular members of the team, and fans have been hoping to see a comic-accurate take on the sassy Southern Belle in live action for many years. Anna Paquin played a younger version of the character in 20th Century Fox X-Men movies, but she didn't really have much in common with her comic book counterpart. Her Quayle's turn in the substance has made her a hot commodity in Hollywood, so it was probably only a matter of time before a major superhero franchise came calling, though we're still waiting on an official announcement. Marvel does seem to be making moves on this project behind the scenes. No director is attached, but the amount of casting rumors from various reliable sources doing the rounds would seem to indicate that the studio is quietly assembling its new lineup. Okay. This, to me, is as perfect casting as David Cornswet was to get the Superman role. Or I think this is perfect casting. Perfect. You sign this up, you sign the deal now. You don't look at anybody else. It's perfect. What do you think about this casting, Winston?
I am not familiar with Margaret Qualley's game. I don't know if I can answer that question. I know she was in.
Have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I got halfway through it because I was in a phase of I can't watch 3-hour movies right now, and so I just because I was watching it at home. If I had seen it in theater, I would have been fine. I need to go and finish it, but I'm just genuinely not familiar with her work. So that is going to be harder for me to give that answer per se. But I trust you in that regard. You don't really miss on casting. Ever since Robert Pattinson, you
trust me a little bit more now.
I just if you say that you think somebody's going to be good for it,
she's perfect for it. And I'll tell you, like I was yesterday years old, or maybe last month when I didn't even know Andy McDowell. I didn't realize Andy McDowell was her mom. I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea.
Coach, I have things to say.
Oh no, I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from you. Right,
losing it. Okay, I love this actress, and I think she's the perfect combination of all the things they need Rogue to be correctly. She just did a Southern accent in Driveway Dolls. I think she can nail it. I think Storm. I think Storm needs to be Storm. I think Rogue needs to be Rogue. I think Wolverine. Go comic accurate this time. I get that Bryan Singer had his mutant movies that did well, and Anna Paquin got to be Canadian or whatever the hell she is. But they need this Rogue to be a Rogue and from the South. So she can do the Southern accent. If you go as far back as the Nice Guys, she does the standoffish, quirky well, but then you've got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where she's just hot. And you've got The Substance where she plays hot. I'm pretty sure her butt was in frame more than most actors' screen time in 2024. But they literally know how to play the attractiveness of the character with her being kind of an untouchable. And Rogue needs to be a pent up aggression of repressed sexuality. So I think you put all those movies together. I'm a big fan of hers. Please. Yes.
Yeah. It really is perfect casting. And she looks like her. It's I think this is perfect. I really do think it is perfect.
And I never thought of it. I love when I hear a casting that I'm yes, she played that in pieces, put it together.
That's it. I mean, there's no one else I really want to see play this role anymore.
This immediately, I personally didn't see the Keke Palmer thing until I watched One of Them Days, and then watching One of Them Days, it clicked. But now I only got to have that Keke Palmer dream for 1 month because now it's Margaret Qualley. It immediately, I see the vision.
How old is she?
I don't know, and that's why I didn't talk about her butt.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my point here, right? They're going after younger actresses in general. Well, no, she's 30.
Did I read that wrong? Oh, 90. I saw 94. Sorry. I saw 94.
She's 30. So still.
I thought she was 32, so I feel a little guilty about the butt comment, but I stand by it at 30.
Either way. So she's I think she's perfect. I'll tell you, there's another rumor about casting that's interesting. And I also think if they go this route, which we keep saying, I don't know if they're going to do that, but if they do, this is also perfect casting. The rumor that Kang will return to the MCU and could be played by Severin star Tramel Tillman. This is
that actually
perfect,
fantastic,
perfect. If they actually get him to say, okay, we need to finish off the Kang storyline, we need somebody to do it. this guy can do what essentially Jonathan Majors was setting up with Kang and how he was approached, because it's a similar approach in Severance. According to new rumor, Marvel Studios does indeed have planned to reintroduce Kang to the MCU, but it won't be Jonathan Majors during The Conquering. Last week, a pretty shaky rumor that Marvel Studios might be considering bringing Jonathan Majors back to the MCU as Kang did the rounds online. Jeff Schneider decided to discuss the Kang situation on this week's episode of The Hot Mic, and he believes that there are plans to reintroduce the villain to the MCU at some point, but it doesn't sound like he'd be sticking around. Apparently, Marvel wants to wrap up the Kang storyline, bring the character back for what could just be a handful of scenes. Snyder has heard that Marvel has a plan to say goodbye to Kang, and that Doctor Doom could be the one who kills him in one of the upcoming Avengers movies. Majors would not reprise the role, as Snyder has also heard that Severance actor Trammell Tillman might be in talks to step in as the powerful time traveler. How much stock should we put into this? Snyder does caution this is very much a rumor for the time being, but Coleman Domingo recently confirmed that he spoke with Marvel about potentially playing a new version of Kang, which would obviously suggest that the studio is searching for another actor for the role. Majors was found guilty of 2 misdemeanors. Okay, so let's just go. I want to talk more so about the casting of this, if they indeed do this, because I also thought that from what Coleman had said on Josh Hart's show, that he didn't necessarily have those conversations, that his agents might have, or other people would have had it, but he didn't want to do that in general. So maybe they just shut it down. But I do think that this is something they are going to wrap up. There's going to be a way to do it. I think having Doom kill him would be a great idea, because this shows like, oh, so that guy wasn't as powerful as we thought. It's that guy. But this guy playing him, oh my God. With a second, both Margaret Qualley and him back to back, Coy, I was like, yeah, this is perfect.
I personally think the idea of Doom taking out Kang is the only reason. Like I thought from the beginning, the reason we'd get Kang Dynasty is to show his power a la Thanos in Infinity War, and then at the end have Doom take him out. Like I've been saying it for years, I got receipts, but then Loki season 2 happened, and I personally feel like they wrapped up the only good take on Kang. Like we've had some rough takes on Kang, and I think the good take on Kang is in Loki. So I'm kind of cool with wrapping up Kang in Loki. And so my immediate reaction is, if you're going to bring Kang back, I wanted someone amazing like Coleman Domingo, like this guy that plays Milchick. That would be the goal. But also, I realized immediately seconds later, like if we cast him as Kang, he gets a couple scenes and get killed, then we don't get Milchick in the MCU. Yeah. I'd rather see a dude as Bishop. I'd rather see the guy get to play a time traveling. You don't know if he's good or bad. He's got some nefariousness behind the eyes. He's got the hair, the 70s. Like he's Bishop to me immediately.
Coy, you cooking today, baby. That would Bishop is a significantly better casting
for him. And
yeah,
for this guy,
because of what
his energy
Coy
and
just played up. Both the vibe, but I think specifically the energy of what Coy is saying. If you're bringing him back, you were bringing him back for at most maybe 20 minutes. Yeah. Nah, don't do that to that guy. Like, especially because I feel like he is really starting to hit his stride now because of Severance. And so this is the moment that his stock is rising. I don't want
maybe he just wants the payday. Maybe he wants the payday. Just take like one movie.
Payday, but I can see this dude playing Bishop for 10 years.
If
how old is he?
Winston needs to say it because I can't.
What, black don't crack?
Well said. Well said. All right. Well, either way, the casting news has been off the hook. So I like it. I really like it. What say you guys? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. We're gonna get to the questions. Yes.
He's only 2 years older than me. He's 39. He looked like he's 45, but that just kind of doesn't have a definition. Is what that is. That he plays.
He's also jacked. He's also jacked out of his mind.
He is.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude. And he carries himself big, which is that military bishopness to me.
Yeah, he's great. Are you guys both watching Severance?
I'm behind. I'm behind, but yes,
I'm all caught up now, and he shines. He was great in season 1, but he really shines in this season. I think he's great. I love that casting. All right, we got some questions to go through. So before we do, I'm going to just close up with the final two. I want to tell you guys again, I'm so excited to have both these guys on board. Nord, hey, Mando. Oh my gosh, you guys, I've been raving about Mando. You've been watching my reactions. You hear me talking about Mando. I love Mando. It keeps me smelling good. I don't want to smell like an animal, and I get more confidence walking around the place. And I know that if I'm sitting on a subway next to somebody, they're not going to be looking at me going, "What's that?" It's not me because I got Mando. That's right. It's safe to use anywhere in your body. It doesn't matter if it's your pits, your balls, your thigh folds, your belly buttons. It doesn't matter. It's created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. It is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor up to 72 hours. All products are baking soda free. It is clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. That's the best. If you want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now, you can find them in Walmart, Target, other retailers across the country. Best deals, you go to shopmando.com. You control body odor anywhere with Shop Mando. You get 5% off your starter pack. That's over 40% off. You got to use that promo code, though, Kristian, at shopmando.com. Please go and check that out. You're going to love Shop Mando. Now, the other thing, I've been, as I mentioned, my health is very important to me right now. And I want to eat better. I want to do that. And it's all about HelloFresh. I was so excited the other day when that box showed up, John. Oh,
yeah.
We were ready. We were cooking chicken. We were cooking burgers, a lot of stuff, really good stuff. And if you're tired of figuring out what's for dinner every time, what's for dinner, especially on the busy weekends, you get dinner done the easy way. And that's because of HelloFresh. It's easy to find time and eat well with 50 wholesome, hassle-free meals to choose from each week delivered to your door. HelloFresh's new ready-made meals go from the fridge to your fork, just 3 minutes. Awesome. So if you haven't already tried them, you really should, because it saves you so much time. You can save valuable time with fewer trips to the grocery store thanks to HelloFresh Market. Over 100 add-on items you can add to your weekly box, like breakfast, snacks, beverages. It's the best. Get up to 10 free meals and a high-free protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/Kristian10FM. One item per box with an active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. So that's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. You just got to go to HelloFresh.com/Kristian10FM. All right. There we go. We did it. So thank you for, love. Hey, Mando. Winston uses Mando. We love Mando. And I'm telling you, you guys, you want to get a good meal plan, I'm hooking you up. So you want to help out the show, just do just that. All right, guys, real quick before we get into it, too. Coy, you're right around that 50,000 mark, man. You're almost there. What's going on?
Getting there. I just posted my non-spoiler long-form Captain America yesterday. This morning, I posted my full spoiler review for Captain America Brave New World, and in it is 2 ways I would fix the MCU. So I break down the problems I saw specifically in that film that spread out to the rest, and I break down all that in my video, including the marketing and lots of stuff with specificity. So check those out. I'm doing lots of videos going forward. I got my Paddington video going up tomorrow. I love that bear that loves marmalade. I really want to grow that page, and I've really been enjoying it and taking Kristian's advice. I actually made today's thumbnail with him in mind. It was a really weird moment. I was like, what would Kristian do? So in honor of all that, please check out my page over there. I'm trying to grow it. And before Winston plugs, I always plug Winston's too whenever I think of it. The dude's editing is what I aspire to do when I have the patience that I never will have. So it's like a pipe dream to edit as well as Winston does. So his page is, if you want panache and style, if you want like a crazy jazz mixed with like a cat on the street, you go to my page.
That is quite a good, not only compliment, but like analogy. But yeah, you can find me at the Swaggy Blurred on all the platforms, but specifically here on YouTube. I was a little dark, as you can see. I've been moving here. I'm in the new space, and it's gonna take me some time to set some stuff up. But I'm excited about the stuff that's going on. I put my out of theater reaction. I will get my spoiler review out later today, so you want to check that out as well. But other than that, man, everybody have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Let's get to these questions.
All right. So speaking of which, you guys, you need about, what did I say?
249.
No, not 240. I think it's 243. Yeah, it's only 242. So I took there.
Only
you go.
242.
So, and currently you're at 66. So we got a journey. You got almost 200 questions.
66. We have 56 minutes.
56 minutes to do about 180 questions. All right, let's. All right, Alex Frazier, no Hulk in Cap 4 despite the connections. Thoughts? I don't think they wanted to pay Ruffalo the money this one around because they'd already exceeded their expenses.
Yeah,
I think it would have felt shoehorned in as well. Like it would have been a lot of Hulk.
Coy, quick question, just as far as how we ended up with Red. I thought that it was. Never mind. I realized that'll go into a
yeah, there was spoilers. So, Alex Fraser also says Malignant or Saving Private Ryan for reaction. I asked Sam if she has seen Saving Private Ryan. So I don't really know if there's anybody on my crew that hasn't seen that. I got to ask Tina. I am doing Nosferatu with Tina that'll land on Friday, which I've seen, but she's never seen it before. So that lands on Friday. And Malignant, which one was that? That's a James Wan movie, right? I've actually never seen that movie, so maybe
I definitely haven't seen that.
Would anybody tune into that one? I wonder. Demeter Jones, weren't you the guys who said Drake was done? To which I said, Demeter, who was that directed to? Coy? That is the fastest #1 album of the year. So I think you're wrong.
It's also been 6 weeks. What do you mean the fastest #1 album of the year? Nothing has happened yet.
I think he was talking to Coy on that one because he said you guys. Anyway,
he's very popular. So is McDonald's. I don't think he's done. I just think he's not good.
But that's a difference. There's a difference between saying someone's done.
Popular, mediocre.
He's clearly not done because he's touring in Australia. He was
doing very well in his
very well. Yeah, he's doing well. This person is just looking for some fun. Mr. 101, Coy and Winston, what's your thoughts on Elon Musk?
You don't want to hear that's not what the show is. You don't want to do this.
He exists.
We have a new member with GT86 Ben. Thank you, GT86 Ben. Mike Revel. Chances that Bucky survives Thunderbolts. He's my favorite MCU character. Just think he bites the dust. I still think Endgame Time Machine brings back young Cap.
No, I don't think he's going anywhere. He might get sidelined a little bit, but I don't think he's going anywhere.
I hope they don't kill him.
I worry they're going to kill him because of the tone of the trailer, but I think they know they need Sebastian Stan because of his love. Like Sebastian loves the MCU like we do, and he's in it. Like I hope they don't get rid of that guy.
Let me show you. Let me show you what happens. Hold on. This is already probably a story. But hey guys, yeah. It's Kevin. Hey, listen. Yeah, I know. I remember we were all excited about things. Yeah, we're gonna promote all the new people. Yeah. The Sebastian Stan death scene. Yeah, cut that out. Yeah, cut that out. Edit it. I don't care. We got to bring him back. Okay, that's it. Bye bye.
Look, if you want to talk about predictions, I do think somebody dies. I think it's Taskmaster.
Yeah, Taskmaster's not in a lot of footage.
Like everything they've released, it's the 5 of them, not the 6 of them. I think Taskmaster is the one that dies.
We'll see. Beagle Studios. Despite me not seeing the movie until tomorrow, I can already tell this is a drop it, let's move on film. It does seem that way. I heard that the set was intense. Yeah, Feige was at the premiere but never spoke. The score doesn't feel like a Marvel movie. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up.
I said that.
The score?
Yes, I said it was overscored. I didn't think it fit a lot of
I'm sorry. I missed you saying that because you and I are on the exact same page. The score to me took me out of the movie at times. It overpowered things, and it did not feel like it fit into the movie at all. I'm sorry I missed that.
It's 100%. Okay because I was like I said that and you didn't respond. I said, oh, I was so proud of myself. I was like, for once, I'm like actually listening to the score, and I'm like, this is effed up. Kristian will be so proud.
No, I know what happened at that moment when you were talking. So the good news and the bad news is that. The reason, the bad news is I wasn't listening to it at that point because the good news was on Matt Serra's podcast we had on WWE superstar Karrion Kross, and he came into studio and he was here and he had right as he was leaving the studio, he had sent me a message and he's on his way on plane and I had to respond to him because of the stuff going on with Matt. So that's where I lost it. So I apologize.
Yeah. No, it's all good. But
only a WWE superstar that took his attention away wins.
I can't argue with that. I don't have any WWE superstars in my house.
So that was it. But I'm totally with you. I made the point yesterday that it just was so jarring. I thought the music was
I think that was honestly, and you have talked about this a lot, how the score really does set the tone for everything. I don't think that I understood how score can mess something up until this movie. And then that I was like, oh, this is what Kristian's talking about.
Yeah, it felt at times that it was trying to manipulate you to feel a certain way and it wasn't earning it. It was like, now you should feel, here's the big hero theme. Feel wonderful. I don't want to feel wonderful because I'm paying attention to a theme when it's not just bringing me through the movie itself. It's like I shouldn't be aware of it. I should just feel it. Yep. When you're really listening to music and it like listen to some of that Alan Silvestri stuff when he's doing it, it's seamless. It just kind of goes along with the actual thing. It was jarring. I did not like the music at all. Beagle Studios Part 2. Plus, it seemed Marvel just wanted to get to Daredevil, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four as marketing for those already started since late last year. I don't think it's a coincidence that they put it out in February, knowing that they're like, okay, we got Daredevil right next, and then Thunderbolts, and then Fantastic Four, because they could easily put Thunderbolts in February if they wanted to. Granted, they probably also did it because of Black History Month, but I think that they could have, and I think that they realized it wasn't going to be a big hit for them.
I also think they should have marketed Spider-Man more because it is great. But releasing it in 4 weeks was a crazy thing to do with a 10-episode show. And then I get to not be conflicting with Daredevil, but Charlie Cox as Daredevil's in the Spider-Man show. Like, how great would that have been if they were both on? Weird release and weird marketing this year.
Derek's throwing in some support. Thank you, Derek. He throws in a big one here. He says, can't watch live today, so I'm going to drop 250 spots. Thank you, Derek. I watched Cap 4 and I loved it. It wasn't amazing, but it was a good movie. As a black man, former Marine and brother, it hit some deep feels for me about the burden on one's shoulder and some great subtext. I love that. Love the show as always. Brings great entertainment and smiles to me on days when I'm struggling to see good in people and not their greed. Well, you are the farthest thing from greedy, my friend.
Whatever the opposite of greed is, it's 250.
That's you. That's you. And in general, Derek's just a really good dude. And I'm glad that you loved it, man. I always like to hear that when people say, that they dug the movie, unless it was Love and Thunder. Roman Fedorak, on Derek's note, what helps you guys be hopeful? How does Superman keep hope when he gets a can to his head? Also, I still plan on reading All-Star and studying Supes, ran into some speed bumps. I'll tell you, the hopefulness for me is, as I mentioned many times over, is that my family, obviously, that's an easy one. But I think just surrounding yourself with really good people and people that don't stress you out, right? There's nothing against the amount of people that we used to work with. And there were a lot of good people that we did with, but like handling that many different personalities in the Schmodown days it almost exploded my head. It really, it just almost destroyed me. I only work with people now that I don't have those stressful situations anymore with this crew, regardless how often I have to deal with Mike Kalinowski. But other than that, it's you guys have to see the best thing that happened on yesterday's show, by the way. And it was my personal therapy session, because Mike, for some reason, he has his tech problems and his camera his sound went off. The audience could hear Mike, we could hear Mike, but Mike couldn't hear us. Steph and I. So I look at him right in the camera. I go, Mike. He's like, I can't hear you. I go, Kevin Smets is a far superior Intergeekdom player than you are. I said, you are the most difficult person I've ever dealt with in my life. And I started saying all these things, and he's just like this. It's pretty great. Anyway, so what helps you guys be hopeful, Coy?
Honestly, like the stuff I put into my brain, like whether it's comics, whether it's books, whether it's like my TikTok is the opposite of my output. I don't have a single comic book or movie commentator that I really pay attention to. When I scroll, it's like people reuniting at airports and like puppies. Like I just love like hope core. Like I'm all about like joy, because in my opinion the world's really bad. So if I can curate what I can control, and also to what you said, like I got rid of most people that aren't
right
an uplifting force in my life. Like I'm realistic. I'm not going to cut someone off because they're negative, but I'm not going to prioritize them. So it's what you prioritize. Like where it's the grass isn't greener on the other side of the fence. The grass is greener where you water it. Water the good stuff.
And Winston, what about yourself?
Yeah, I think the two things specifically. One, I've been telling everybody that I really resonate with the Hulk in Avengers, where it's my secret is I'm always angry. And when that's the case, then nothing really pisses me off. So that A, turns the level down for me a little bit. But B, it's taking moments of focusing on times when you are dealing with something rough, knowing that you will get to the other side of it. So part of our move specifically, I'll make this quick, is we were having horrible construction stuff happening outside of our place constantly that was making living in my apartment living hell. And this move already, just seeing my girls smile, waking up in the morning and not being stressed, that's the type of things that it's like I push through the hard stuff.
Oh, my Kalinowski
because
moment.
The good stuff is around the corner.
You froze for a second at the end, but it was a great speech.
Oh.
It caught up though. We heard.
Yes, it caught up. Marmouth Hans, shout out to Coy for recommending the current Fantastic Four. I would have jumped on it sooner if I knew North was the writer. Love his Squirrel Girl series.
Anyone that wants to read comics, Fantastic Four right now, not only is it a great setup for the movie that's coming up, and it's only 3 years in, so it's like 30 issues. It is the best, I think, in the 60 years of Fantastic Four. It is such a good run.
That's great. Mr. I Crappin' Shits. It's my 46th birthday on Sunday. Happy birthday, man. Here's some of my birthday money. LOL. Saw Cap 4 last night. I enjoyed it. It's mid-tier, but it's enjoyable. I'm with you. Not the cluster F I thought it would be. Yeah, 100%. I think, and I promise you I didn't write that. That was actually Mr. Craven's, but that's exactly how I felt. It's exactly how I felt. It was just like, I enjoyed it. It was fun to watch. Mid-tier. Yep. And wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be. Shane Canavan. Hey, Kristian and crew. Longtime listener, but really good to see live. So here's some support. Thank you, Shane. Wondering if full reactions are continuing on Patreon, or was that a one-time thing for Infinity War? No, it's definitely gonna happen. I'm going on vacation next week, and I'm gonna be on the plane, kind of editing some of the ones and putting it up there. But I'm probably gonna I'll probably put the Captain Marvel one up next because we just finished that one. So that one will go up next, and then Endgame will come out. Yes, I'll start putting out more of the unedited ones for sure. Winston, are you frozen or are you just staring into the camera? Oh, okay, you were actually, that was good. That was real good. Scary.
Back in class, baby.
Yeah, it was scary. Okay, next one here is from Joshua Gonzalez. I went to a comic store and I got Love and Rockets. Zoobly Zoo, Zoobly Zoo. Hell yeah, Zoobly Zoo. Zoobly Zoo.
Forever.
B-Town. Curious to hear Coy's thoughts on Hickman's X-Men run.
In brief, I love Hickman. I liked the Krakoa saga. I thought it lasted a little too long because he wanted to do that as a 3-act structure. And when they finished the first act, Marvel was like, no, we're going to stay in this act structure and we're going to keep it right here. So it felt like it was not the way he wanted to tell the story, and the weight of that carried on. But overall, Hickman is very consistent. His FF run is great. He's one of those writers that can do no wrong to me. I will always read his stuff, and I liked his X-Men.
This is hilarious, by the way, because I mentioned Matt Serra and Carrion were on today, and Matt brought up, he goes, I was on Rogan last week, and those guys were breaking my balls about the Superman trailer. And so Mike Joyce says, I feel so bad for Sarah on Rogan when everyone made fun of him wanting to talk about the Superman trailer and be excited for the movie. He said, yeah, Callan was on board with him for a second, and then once the dog showed up, he's not on board with it, but apparently Rogan was breaking his balls about it. I didn't see that part of it, though, but hilarious. Douglas McKinney, big Koi Cast anniversary coming up. Cue the Koi plug. You got a big anniversary coming up?
5 years of KoiCast starting we had our first pre-production the last week of February. Our first episode dropped the first week of March. So 5 years of my podcast that I never plug. Guys, I got a podcast. You can listen to it anywhere you listen to your podcast. I always forget to plug it. Literally, it's all over, like Spotify, iHeartRadio. I'm doing it for 5 years and I forget. I do it every week. So check it out.
There you go. Sean McCabe, who I think is a recent finder of us, and I think he's also from Bayside in Queens, because it's where we are. Bell Boulevard shout out yesterday. For my Queens peeps out there, Kristian's Cap 4 reaction of "It's fine" translates to "It's men's amends." I get
What does that mean?
You got to look it up, Winston.
All right.
Call me Jabba. New Hasbro 6'90" Spider-Man figure went up for pre-order at $50. It's ridiculous. If you had an action figure, what accessory would come with it? Mine? Let's see. A pepper spray.
You usually get two, right? You get like one for each hand. Coffee and comics, or coffee and Spidey Cat.
Yeah, mine would be pepper spray.
New York.
Pepper spray.
And a slice of pizza.
Not to be paired.
No.
AirPods and energy drinks. That's such a problem.
Joy mode. Joy mode.
Joy mode. Joy mode.
That's the variant toy.
Yeah. Beagle Studios. Danny Ramirez as Nightwing would be awesome. See, this is what I mean. If you would have put that super chat in there 3 or 4 days ago, I would be like, it's interesting. Now I go, no thanks. I don't know. I'll tell you, what's funny, when I was watching him, I started to say, I think Andrew Guy would have done a better job. I think Andrew Guy is, I like Danny Ramirez. I think Andrew Guy is more talented than Danny Ramirez. I do. I think Andrew Guy has not gotten the opportunities that Danny Ramirez has. I think Andrew Guy is an incredible actor, like an incredible actor. I think he was the best actor out of everybody that was in the Schmodown. I think he was the best. I think because from watching what he did in general, and I was watching that going, damn it, Andrew Guy could have had this role. So I don't know. Nightwing?
Andrew Guy for Nightwing.
Andrew Guy for Nightwing. Armada. I saw Cap 4 last night, and Marvel just needs to slow the F down. I think the Disney Plus shows really hurt the brand from both low quality and increased quantity. I don't disagree with that at all. How do you guys feel about that?
I think that's what they're doing this year is they're getting as much out as they can to have it out and have it done. And then, I mean, it's sad because how many times have we been like, well, this is the last one from the messy time. I hope that Cap 4 is actually because of the reshoots and because of the stuff. I haven't heard as much about Thunderbolts. We've heard nothing about F4. So I'm hoping this is actually the end of our little asterisk phase, ironically, with Thunderbolts asterisks.
Yeah. Oh, this is a great question. Casual Scroll. This is a great question. To solve the Magneto Xavier age problem, couldn't the X-Men be in the Fantastic Four 60 universe? We could just bring them over with Fantastic Four. Did you say that?
I said that either last week or the week before that when we were discussing Magneto and how you deal with how does he still associate with the Holocaust and things like that? I was like, just make him from the same weird time warp universe as the Fantastic Four.
Right, which makes sense. Day Napper. I'm getting a 3-topping pizza tonight. Can each of you pick a random topping? I don't care about the combo. I'll try it. Stay awesome. All right, that's great. All right, so everybody pick one. Everyone pick one. I'm gonna go first. Mushrooms.
Bacon.
Buffalo chicken.
Whoa, that sounds delicious. That sounds delicious. Dana, you take a picture of that and you send a photo to us. All right. Screen Bites Nights. Big fan of you fellas in the UK. Thank you, Screen Bites Nights. First time question. How many movies? This really is the old time radio show. It really is when it's like first time caller. Every time we get one of those questions, it's a first time question. How many movies to DC have to save the new DCU if it doesn't hit? Superman. Hoping it soars, but money talks. And following it up, of course, with
mustard.
I refute. That is not Kendrick's. It's not. It's the Mad Hatter's. It's not his. He stole it. He stole it. It's not his. Not his.
It's happening bad. Somebody got to do it. Got my foot up on the gas, man. Somebody got to do it.
Not his. Yeah, it's not his. It's so stupid. It's not his.
Mustard.
Thank you. Anyway,
turn this TV off.
So big fan. He says that how many movies does that have to save in general? Now, I don't know if they can come back from a Superman bomb. If it breaks even, or makes a little bit of money, they can continue on. If it bombs, it's over.
I think they need to prove. I think Superman will do well. I think it'll be the movies after Superman. Like, I think Superman is the proof of concept. I think they'll need 2 or 3 just general properties, because I think Creature Commandos was a small, well-received property. Now they need a big, well-received property. And once they're on any sort of run of consistency, I think that's proof of concept. So I'm actually not thinking about Superman. I'm thinking about Supergirl and Lanterns.
And Winston?
I think you got to – it doesn't need to be as many as like what got us through the first Avengers, essentially the phase 1, but it needs to be exactly what Coy said, some – level of consistency. Give me like 3 to 4 where I'm like, yo, they're cooking over here, and then I'm in.
Yeah, they really need. They do need. They gotta hit the big with this one. They really do. Corey, this one's for you. How is Duncan not capitalized on Affleck being called DD like Daredevil? Dunkin' Donuts. Hello.
I literally speed read that as you were reading it. All I saw was Duncan DD Affleck, and I knew exactly what he was asking. Yeah. And the fact that there isn't fan art of this as my desktop wallpaper right now, please.
There will be.
Yes, you're right.
By the way,
how have they not done that?
You must have been so pumped yesterday because that Accountant 2 trailer was awesome.
It is incredible. Awesome. It was already my number 1 most anticipated like non-superhero thing. Yeah. It's number 2 of the year. I was right. Like, it feels so good to have shot your shot on a weird pull. It's going to be the movie of the year. Like, I'm so excited.
It was really good. All right, I'm going to let you for this one, Coy. Ready? Can I get a happy birthday from Big Balls is what he wants.
Okay. It's time for the birthday with me and Coy. Coy, put your hand out. I'm coming to you, baby. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'll be there in a second. Hold on. Okay, ready? Here I come. Whoop. Yep, other side. Other side. Thank you. Okay. Happy motherfucking birthday to you. Happy motherfucking birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Crappin', all over the mappin', crappin' all over the place, crappin' shits. You got some crap, you got some shits. Then you gotta eat something, then you drink a schlitz. I'm here all day, dancing with my balls in Cora's hand. Happy birthday, motherfucker.
Thank you. Perfect, Big Balls. Cool. You ever think this was going to be the show that you really broke out on, or what?
You know, as my life is being written, I'm always baffled by the twists and turns it takes.
What'd you do on the show today? Well, I interviewed Sean Gunn. What about on the other show? Well, a chipmunk his balls were in my hand while I was.
Felt the warmth of a digital chipmunk's balls today.
Yeah, while he was singing "Happy Birthday" to Mr. Crap and Shits. Perfect. All right, next one. This is why people tune into this show. All right, next one we have is from Gopal. I love Gopal. Congrats, Winston, on the new place and getting at least somewhat set up. He's
I
trying.
at least got the tech up, man, so you can be here with my messiness and see how it expands out as I grow.
That's right. Next one here, and that one is coming in from Mirjam. A happy and lovely Valentine, Kristian. Thank you, Winston and Coy. Hope it is a wonderful one, and that this day may be blessed for all of you and your families. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. We didn't even mention that today. I got to do that today. I'm leaving a little earlier today. Going to be home, go with the lady, get some food and stuff, and shut down the studio a little early today. So I'm sure everybody's doing the same thing. You guys are having dinner with the ladies?
Yep, good.
We are going to Home Goods. That will be our
that's what you wanted to do?
for our little. We'll probably get some ice cream and just buy some stuff for the house.
Well done. Yeah, which is
very adult. We have a tradition where we each do a 5 hours of the day. That way, each of us picks out like a surprise. So she has the 5 hours from 12 to 5. I have from 5 to 10.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yo, son got joy mode. 5 to 10.
I might have picked the side first. I might have made my choice.
Yeah. Well, enjoy it now because you're getting married and you have kids. You ain't having no 5 to 10. I'll tell you that. Sergio C. I enjoyed Captain America. Red Hulk was sick. I did like the Red Hulk a lot. It was good. It was good to see Rage Hulk again.
I did. The only thing that I think I was missing is I really wanted to get more into like the whole heat element, like powers that he has. It didn't really kick up quite as much, but other than that, yeah, I liked it a lot too.
Ewok Snyder says Margaret Qualley might play Rogue. Yep, we're all excited about that one. Gopal follows it up. I asked Steph and Mike yesterday, is there a real world available object from TV or movies that you coveted for years? For me, it was Brosnan's Blue Dial Seamaster that I stocked for 25 years. I said a lightsaber. You guys got one?
I want to borrow soap from Fight Club.
Oh, okay.
Probably the Black Panther suit.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I'm like, what's reasonable to
It's a necklace. It's inside it, man. Come on.
Dennis Rook became a YouTube member. Thank you, Dennis. Excited all these new members that we have. Chris Fields. I didn't love Captain 4, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, same. Gopal. Carl Lumbly was great in Alias. Oh, was he in Alias also, Winston?
Yes, he was. That was actually one of his major roles that people in this era really got used to him. That and Martian Manhunter on Justice League.
That's awesome. Okay, so next one is Joe for Show. I could have swore I put it in there. What's that from? Is that one from? I'm not sure what that's from. I'm not sure what it's from. Gopal. And what's that?
And the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I'll swear.
Whatever else I've seen him in. Yep.
Great. Yeah, he's really good. He was good too. That was the thing, though. Is it's another reason and why I agree with that last comment about all the shows and everything. You do rely on, in order for people really connect with that character, you have to watch that show. Yeah. Because you don't get the gravity of it. Like you can still. Oh, I guess this is an old Winter Soldier or an old Super Soldier, but yeah, you don't really get the gravity of it at all. So, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I mean, I know it's a movie, you only have so much time, but like seeing a situation, not just him like running from everybody, but weird flashback of a mission of his to see, oh, he was a badass, like that, that would have been enough to try and help with that. But
anyway. Corn Emperor, was that Toad? Captain America 4 was Toad in there?
I think that's what he's saying about the leader.
oh yeah, it's bad. It was bad. Justin Oramishi. Support for Koi's Dark Sport hoodie. Class as fuck. That's pretty sweet. That is pretty.
It's a good hoodie. Like,
yeah, it's pretty great. That is great. I didn't even see that. Tyson's Chicken Nuggets. Nuggies, excuse me. Happy Friday, gents. Have any of you seen The Perfect Getaway with Timothy Oliphant and Steve Zahn? Fun action thriller that might be perfect for Sam. No, I haven't. Look, Sam's gonna be tied up for a bit. We got all the MCU stuff, and we're actually taking a break because we're doing the Spider-Man, Toby and Andrew next, because I think that started on this conversation. People were like, well, when are you going to do that one? Because you didn't want the post credit scene to be spoiled for No Way Home. So we're going to show her those first and then that movie. But yeah, she's taking a break, and that's why I'm putting Nosferatu. Now, give her after Endgame, giving her like a week to just chill out. So yeah, I've never seen Perfect Getaway. You guys?
No, I don't know.
No, okay.
But I love Olifant and Zahn a lot.
Me too. Yeah. Corn Emperor, my friend, niece, and I liked Captain America 4. Watch it in theaters.
I love that for you. And I'm not saying that condescendingly. I genuinely, we have said this multiple times about stuff. If people love something, they should love it. It's an opinion-based thing. It's art. So I hope that everyone loves the hell out of that film. I just had my problems.
Totally. Okay, next one here. Renetta W. Just throwing a super sticker. Thank you, Renetta. Aisha Kenya, happy Valentine's Day. Was Gunn's decision to skip the Super Bowl a misstep? It had the highest viewership of all time. That's crazy. I can't believe that had the highest viewership of all time. Yeah. What do you think about the market this far? I watched 5 minutes of the game. I was on the phone with AT&T for an hour and 15 minutes. But,
damn.
Yeah, and then by the time I got to it, I didn't care. Because there was just no way for both teams to lose.
I think that's it was an interesting choice to do that, but you kind of took your own moment back in December, and then again with the flight thing. I think maybe they just were like, we don't have another trailer to go right now.
Yeah, I think that was it. Is that but I mean, they do. But even if they did, you don't need to spend the money on it. You don't need to spend the money.
It is expensive.
Yeah,
it is expensive.
If you already have people are aware of it already. You don't need to put it on Super Bowl for what?
6 months early is to raise awareness that it even exists.
Yeah.
3 months out is to start to give some story, and a month out is to remind you and give probably too many details and have a trailer that reveals too much.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this one doesn't happen. Like, I'm hoping the 1 month out. So like, I think they're on a track. I do think the Super Bowl was a good opportunity for movies that are out like in May and earlier, but I personally don't think the Super Bowl is smart for deep summer films. But I get people being upset because I think this is an example of rumors getting out and being believed to the level that hurts the thing. I never heard a confirmation.
Yeah. I saw you holding a Magic Mind. You guys should have some new ones coming. Did it just show up to your house yet?
No, I just had this one because I needed it.
Oh, you got a new one. The sleep one,
the old one,
the new one.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and you got the sleep stuff coming too.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I need that more than ever, dude.
I'm gonna review that.
Yeah, both of that's coming. So we'll talk about it next week. Okay. Derek 011 IDR 50,000. Thank you. Hey, Kristian, did you ask Joe Manganiello about his role in One Piece 2? He's going to be an important character for seasons to come. I did. He wouldn't tell me shit. But I did ask him about it. He told me what he could. He was promoting his show. This is my third time talking to Joe, and I like Joe a lot. He was promoting his Deal or No Deal Island, and I will tell you this: when we talked about that show, he lit up and told me a lot of stuff. When I tried to go off course and talk about other things, he wasn't really talking that much about a lot of stuff. He was talking about, like, he told me about we talked about Dune and Dune 2, which he really got excited about. We talked about that, but when I was talking to him about DC stuff and everything too, and he wasn't really having it this time around. He didn't really want it. He was being great. He was being great, but you could just tell he didn't want to go down that route. But I tried. It's only about a 45-minute interview. Mad Sinister Macau, favorite Kendrick song and album, Barry and Damn for me. Corey and Winston, have a blast.
Good Kid, Mad City, and probably song. Coy, go ahead until I figure out the song because I got a few.
It's recency bias, but either GNX or lately I've been really feeling Mr. Morale just because like I'm at a midlife point of looking at my life in a very introspective way, and that movie that album has a lot to say about that. Song wise, that might be Mad City, but also Man at the Garden and TV Off really hits. I don't know, like it's hard because I've been listening to GNX. I finally got GNX on vinyl. Like it finally came out on vinyl.
Nice.
So I listen to it. It sounds so good. It's like a new album, so it's hard to not feel that recency. But Mad City as a song may be my favorite.
Maybe Money Trees, bro. Me and my niggas trying to get it, ya bitch.
I think Money Trees is like an anthem for like me wanting to have kids. So I think about Money Trees the most.
Okay.
Money Trees is an anthem for you having kids.
It's all about planting a tree for the future you'll never see. It's all about like.
Sure, Coy.
All right, go pal. Quayle was great in what is that? Oh, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and The Substance.
Oh.
Yes.
I would never have pulled that acronym.
Yeah, well, it's because I just mentioned it. Hunter Vance. Thank you, Hunter. Became a member. We're getting a lot of new members here. Al Patrickson, not surprised over the expose over Brave New World's troubled production. I called this being the MCU's one bad egg in their 9 projects for 2025. Looks like I was right. Hopefully my prediction stands. I think you might be right. I don't know if it's going to call it a bad egg. I just think it's going to be the most disappointing out of all of them. I will tell you, and I said this, I don't know if I said this with you guys, but I want to make sure that I'm consistent. I think, not including Daredevil, out of the theatrical releases, I think Fantastic Four will make the most, which isn't a big surprise to anybody. I think Thunderbolts will be the best movie out of the 3 of them.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be the most impressed by Thunderbolts. I think the Fantastic Four has the highest stakes. And I think Daredevil is going to be like a warm hug. I think Daredevil is going to be like, oh, we're back. And, as the TikTokers say, I feel like that's going to feel like the comeback.
This is interesting. Jason Ashcroft said, Snyder said last night that he's heard the directors don't want to work for James Gunn and take notes from him, except hired guns like Jeff Wadlow. Thoughts? Also, he said that Swamp Thing is unlikely to happen. I mean, I'm just a matter of who he's hearing that from, because like I said, I don't scoff at Jeff Snyder's stuff. I know for a fact that the people that he's talking to are legit. So, it could be the same thing that we're talking about on this article in the Vulture that we read about. And I think Winston or Corey might have said it could be an employee that's disgruntled or whatever that is saying these types of things. But I say we let the movies speak for themselves first.
I agree, and I also like the directors he's talking to, so I don't know how much validity I have, considering the names are people that I admire. So I just don't know.
Jake Yakavetta, what's up, Jake? Speaking of Ed, I invited him to stay with me in Brooklyn. He and Eric Frederick wouldn't shut the F up, so me and Mariano went out to hang out. Where's Ed? Did Ed come back in after I threw him out? I haven't seen him. Gopal, she does the Southern accent naturally when imitating her mom, too. And thank you, Jake, by the way. And I've forgotten about the Nice Guys. I like her there, too. Was she?
She's the main girl in the Nice Guys, dude. She's the That's a young Margaret Qualley, dude.
She plays. Is it Qualley or Qualley?
I think because of Talib, I always say Qualley. I don't know.
You might be right. But she's the girl. She's the daughter and Nice.
Yeah. Dude.
Oh, the one that they're the one
that like runs over the car, the one they have to bring.
Yes. Okay, that. Right.
Not the blonde daughter, not his kid.
Okay, so that's where I was thrown off. And now that my memory plays it, yes, 100%.
Yeah, the non-family child.
Yep. Jake, any chance the unedited cut of Endgame will be on Tuesday as well? I loved watching Infinity War along with Sam. If I can get to it, the answer is yes. It's just a matter of the thing is you're looking at the editor, thumbnail designer, everything. Like I only have so much time to do all of it. So I was very proud of myself the other day when I was able to sit down and throw the Infinity War into the editing program and get that done. So I'll try to get it done ASAP for sure. PLD, there he is. I'm here for Quality with Glenn Powell and Ed Harris in Huntington coming soon. Nice.
That's a great cast.
Good old Ed Harris comment. We knew they're gonna get that. Robert Gonzalez, 3 out of 10. Mackie didn't have a villain, kind of. Advertised Red Hulk. I didn't mind that though. I'll tell you, I didn't mind because everyone was saying, "Well, he's not in as much," and they advertised with it. And that was my concern with it. I thought the way that it was led to how they got to the Red Hulk, I thought it worked well. I feel like they rushed the ending and wrapped things up in dialogue. I didn't feel that way with the ending. I felt like the ending was the one thing that actually worked.
The third act worked for me. I personally, on my side, wish we didn't know the Red Hulk because the way the movie was written was like a powder keg, and so that did undermine a bit.
Yes, I agreed.
Like I definitely am aware that we're not in the 90s anymore.
I totally get it, and I think maybe that's another thing that hamstrung it for me. I was like, this whole time I was like, okay, so when is Hulk coming? Okay, so when is Hulk coming? I know that the Rose Garden part is coming, so when is the Hulk coming? And I think that was another thing that maybe hurt it for me.
All right, next one here is from Gopal. Incidentally, how did the logistics work when watching the uncut reaction, which is on TV versus computer, phone, and volume level for each? Oh, as far as when I'm watching them, how does that work? So I think this is what you're asking, Gopal. So for me, you want to make sure that you're not sending, that you don't have the audio. You guys can hear the audio through. So basically what I do is I'm able to watch it on my monitor, put it on the big screen here, Sam and I watching it, but I'm able to mute it. So the audio is not picking it up from the camera, but Sam and I can still hear it. That's how we're able to, if that's what you're asking. Al Patrickson. I hope Thunderbolts won't pay for the sins of Brave New World underperforming. If I were Disney, I would do free screening of Thunderbolts a week before release to save its box office, like they did for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Shang-Chi. What do you guys think about that?
I think they're going to have I think the reason the quiet right now is happening is because they're going to gear up for a mega post Daredevil surge for Thunderbolts because of this. I think it's going to be a great word of mouth movie. I think Thunderbolts is going to have legs. I mean, we've all talked about like, wow, those trailers. Wow, this is going to be the big surprise. So I do worry about that generally, but I think Thunderbolts is going to be too good to have that happen to this one.
I think that Thunderbolts will be fine. You'll get some screenings, I think, but I don't think you're going to have anything super crazy. I think they're going to let that on its own.
Agreed. It's a summer movie also. Renetta W. Happy love Valentine's Day to the guys. The Thunderbolts trailer was fire. Looking forward to that movie. Can't wait. Coy, great suggestion for casting for Bishop. There you go.
Like hit me. It was so like once I saw his face in your article, I was like, that's Bishop.
I will say that we haven't talked about it because I also haven't watched it. I didn't watch the new Thunderbolts trailer.
Oh, it's pretty great.
I heard,
I saw it in Captain America because you guys went to screening, so you didn't see ads.
Dude, they played trailers at my screening.
Did they?
They played F4 and Thunderbolts, only those two. I finally got to see F4 big, and when that aspect ratio opens on the theater screen,
that's cool.
So that's why I didn't watch Thunderbolts on purpose because I've seen it enough. I didn't do a reaction to it, and I figured it was going to be like, because look, one of my anticipated movies of the year is Sinners, and that entire trailer was ruined. I mean, the movie was
the second trailer.
It gives away the whole. Oh, it gives away the whole movie. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. It's terrible. Al Patrickson, what are you guys' predictions for Thunderbolts global box office post Cap 4? I'm thinking 450 million worldwide on 150. No, Thunderbolts will do better. Thunderbolts, you're looking at. I bet you it does between 650.
I was gonna say 6 on the low end, 7 on the high end.
Yeah. I was gonna be the crazy one and say 750 because I think that it's gonna be that good of a movie that it will stand on its own legs.
Yeah, I mean, you're not putting in a movie in May if you only think it's going to do 450 million worldwide. Hunter Vance, once Sam is caught up, it might be best to have her react to some of the big TV series that may have missed, Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones, for example. Your audience has become invested in being invested in characters long term. You know, the funny thing is, Game of Thrones is certainly a possibility. Game of Thrones is, but the thing is, that probably won't happen until like 2026 because I have so many movies and things. You got to remember, we're going to watch all the rest of the MCU. We are going to watch Loki season 1 and 2. We're going to watch WandaVision. We're going to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Those will be the only series that I think we watch of Marvel, I believe. I don't think there's anything else that's really crucial.
You just say Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. That's a lot of time.
Well, right. So that's what that's what I'm saying. So we're going to finish up all the MCU, right? All the movies we still have left of all the phases and then we'll probably be catching up to Captain America 4 that she's going to have to watch and get up to Thunderbolts and all that. But then we're going to watch all the X-Men movies. We're going to watch all the Spider-Man movies. So she's going to be pretty much occupied for the rest of this year. So she is. I mean, she is. We have so many. She comes in like, 2 to 3 times a week. If you look at all the movie, I mean, we still have like 20 to 30 things left to watch in the MCU, plus all the X-Men movies. There's tons of things she hasn't seen. Like she's never seen Inception. We're gonna watch Inception, which is gonna be great. Yeah,
you're booked until the Batman 2 comes out, bro.
I know that she never saw the Batman 1, so I'll probably do that right beforehand. She's never seen The Accountant, so we're gonna watch that one too.
So jealous.
Yeah. So
when you watch that, you text me.
Yeah, so that's
the Crow of this year.
Yeah, well, no, it better not be. John Ashford, do you think Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom killing Kang will reunite the Robert Downey Jr. gets second chances but majors can't debate from the comic layman enjoying the show? I never really liked that argument in the first place. Robert Downey Jr. was self-harm to himself.
It's a straw man argument because the main thing you aren't taking into consideration, considering Kang is a time traveler, is time. You like people keep forgetting all the stuff that Robert Downey Jr. got in trouble for early 2000s and did not get another chance for years.
Right. He did. Right. Exactly. That's exactly right. It wasn't like, even whatever it was to, again, it was to himself and things he was doing, but he was also couldn't get insured and all this stuff. They didn't want him and Iron Man. It was like, yeah, have him come back. Favreau had to fight for him.
Favreau literally had to fight tooth and nail to get him in there.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think that's the thing people have to take into consideration is time. It has literally been, 18 months at most with Jonathan Majors at this point?
He'll be back. He'll be back.
He will be back.
Yeah. Aaron,
I
a
love
creative.
that because he plays Kang. I thought you were talking about time travel when you said time, and I was like, that seems like a weird angle.
Coy, it's safe to say that Spidey show is better than Tom Holland's trilogy. What?
If it wasn't for No Way Home, I would say a definitive yes. I think the show is as good as No Way Home. I think it's better than Homecoming or Far From Home.
Really
Dude,
good.
It's so good, Kristian.
I am mad that they had the way that they did not advertise this, and they kind of.
I've had absolutely no interest in watching this show.
If it helps, literally, I would put it up there with like No Way Home's a 5-star film. I think this is a 4.75 star show. It's exceptional.
It's that good.
It's really
okay.
It's like first season, like Invincible good. Like,
really? Wow! Which considering that goes a long way. Considering I haven't seen season 1 of Invincible.
Okay, it's up there with X-Men '97.
Okay, well that's good. Wow. All right, J Mobile. I'm glad we're finally wrapping up the Chapek era films, but I'm a little worried that Feige and upcoming Russo Avengers are going to spend too much time trying to tie up the Chapek era loose ends. I mean, that is a great point though that you don't understand from a lot of people. I mean, this guy clearly gets it. But like this movie still is part of that Chapek era, the Captain America movie, and now it seems like Daredevil is starting it.
Didn't they say it wrapped in 2023 right before the strike, and then they had to go back? Like,
yeah. So exactly, Al Patterson. I bet Fantastic Four will do $1 billion worldwide, and Thunderbolts will do 450. Thunderbolt there's no way. I guarantee that one I'll put a bet on. There's no 450. It'll do better than 450.
It'll do better.
Fantastic Four. I don't think it's going to hit $1 billion. I think it'll get close, but I don't think it's going to hit $1 billion. Let's see. Next one, and this is Corn Emperor watching The Conjuring 2 for the nun scene alone. I gotta, I know she's seen The Conjuring 1, but I don't think she's seen the second one. Nick Vaughn, do you guys feel like Feige's enthusiasm just isn't there for Marvel's projects like it used to be?
I just think that he is very excited about the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. He has been quoted so many
he wants
times
to get there.
He wants to play in that sandbox, and he's like, I had fun with this, but I want to play with these toys.
I think that's exactly right. I think he just wants to get to the X-Men.
I also think he loves this universe, so he's taking it personally when the Chapek stuff is messing up because it feels. I mean, it would feel like it's you, and it's not. So I personally think he's going to come back in a big way. Yeah,
me too. Pharaoh Vibes. Great name. Hey, crew, what was everyone's score for the new Cat movie? Just saw it. Couldn't have been more disappointed, bored, and uninspired. It's a streaming movie at best. I get that. Keep up the good work on the show. I went 2.9 out of 5. I couldn't get it to fresh, but I didn't dislike it, but I don't necessarily disagree with what you put in there, Pharaoh. But out of 5, Winston, what would you give this?
Whatever it averages out to what kind of the critics are saying around that 50 to 55% mark. So
like 5 out of 10. So 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Huh?
I go 3 out of 5. Like I just a hair over Kristian's, but like I get everyone's qualms. But I also didn't mention this earlier. My first bit of professional press was at this tiny network called Bite Size, and the first thing I did on my own as a producer, writer, and host was the announcement of Anthony Mackie as Falcon in Winter Soldier. So I broke down the Falcon suit and how it might translate to Winter Soldier 10 years ago. So there was like a bit of a personal relationship for me to see him become Cap on screen because that was the same year that Sam Wilson became Cap in the comics. So that era is like when I started hosting to scale. So this one kind of meant a lot to me. So I can't tell if that changed my score.
I think it's overall, I mean, we all seem to be in the same neighborhood with that score. Corn Emperor Endgame was the end of the MCU, not literally, but I mean, it's I don't know if it was the end of the MCU as much as it was the end of like that vibe. It's like, it's like you have to look at the MCU like a series of television, and they had a lot of great seasons, and the last few seasons have just not been as good as the first 3 seasons. So maybe season 6 will be better than the previous 2 seasons.
I also think that was before the world, and like the strikes and the pandemic were all before Endgame, and I don't think people give enough credit to how much that changed all of movie making. I do think Marvel is less consistent, but I don't think that we should discount the variables that have attacked the cinematic universe.
Right. Jack Lewis, are you guys worried about the MCU entering Doomsday? Things are all over the place compared to when we went into Infinity War.
Back to what we were saying, we got to get through kind of the Chapek stuff, and I honestly think that the setup from this movie, then going into Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, we're well on our way to what we need to do. I think we just needed to kind of deal with what we had left before we could get there. So I'm feeling fine.
Ronetta, So also, I keep watching the halftime show over and over, and Kendrick Lamar is a genius. He stayed with who he is, and I'm loving it. Giving the dancers a shout out. They were on point, loving everything. That's the only thing I did watch, by the way, was the halftime show.
Oh, good, man.
The only thing I watched. I do love Roxy's story about the real rejects going over. Were you over there too, Coy?
Oh, I was Super Bowling.
Okay. So she said, I went over and they invited me over to be over there. And she's like, and I get there and she's like, well, where's the game? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, where's the game? and they like, he's like, we just watch like the commercials and the trailers and stuff. And she's like, what are you talking about? Where's Turn the Game?
I was over there 3 or 4 years ago for whenever Multiverse had their trailer and like the game wasn't on and I was shocked. They like were refreshing the trailer like
hilarious.
YouTube. Like
Hilarious. Yeah. Joe for show. Cap 4, they ditched their phones to go off grid, but not their smartwatches. Don't know why this bugged me. It's a great point.
That's a fantastic
great point. Yeah.
You know what I was thinking when they ditched the phones? I was like, bro, you're in an electric car. You know that they tracked the hell out of that shit. Like if you had gotten a hoopty, I'd have been like, okay, bet.
Right.
But I was like, no.
I'm telling you, there was some really bad directing. We haven't really talked about this. The director is a good director. I remember the last film he did. Oh shoot,
The Cloverfield Paradox.
No, what was it? Anyway, the directing was bad in this movie, and there was a lot of things that happened that were just not good. And like I'm telling you, as much as I've been goofing on it, you got to pay attention to little details because it matters, right? Like you watch that scene with Danny Ramirez when he knocks the guys with the bike. Why does that guy just ride off the road? He just rides off the road. He doesn't come back. And it's like it's so like stupid little things like that. It drives me nuts. Adit Mahmood from Variety, Goonies 2 as a writer. Winston sent me this before also, is that I was pretty convinced that there was going to be some kind of an announcement once all of them were taking pictures at the premiere of Fun's last movie.
Love Hurts.
Yeah, they were all there together.
The after party was dope because I got to see all the Goonies in one room, and that was like I talking to Goonies while they were with other Goonies was one of those child moments. Where
but they were all there together, and I was like, wait a minute.
Cool.
Yeah, like, but still, they were there to support their friend, but they're taking pictures together, and speculation's coming, and it doesn't surprise me that there's a.
I thought there was going to be a Super Bowl announcement, to be honest, because they were all there.
Yeah, they've been trying to get it done for forever. Robert Gonzalez, Fantastic Four trailer never showed Mr. Fantastic's powers. Yeah, they will in the next one.
I have a theory behind that, and I think that because his powers, in a lot of ways, sometimes even more so, for people that don't understand like the stretching and distortion special effects, it's kind of partly why they changed Ms. Marvel's powers. Supposedly, it takes a little bit more. So I think that they were like, people are already bitching about the thing and how that is still trying to be worked and all that. I think that they were like, let's just leave that alone for now.
I agree.
Yeah. Let's see. Larry Quarteritz. I'm going to Cap 4 tonight, and I'm pretty psyched. Also, shout out to Queens. I went to Bayside High School. Nice. That's not too. I went to Holy Cross, so it's not too far away from there. Let's see. Next one is from Al Patrickson. You guys see Fantastic Four IMAX countdown with Captain America: Brave New World? I didn't. Did you guys see that?
Mine had it at the IMAX screening, which I've never seen them do. But yeah, all the countdown when it got to 4, it was the Fantastic Four. Like they MCUized the IMAX countdown.
That's cool.
It was a smart marketing. Like it's a great idea.
JP Brunette. My favorite trio on the internet. Thank you, JP. Leading up to Fantastic Four and Superman, will you guys do rewatches of past movies? Those were awesome leading up to Spider-Man No Way Home. No, you got to remember this. The reason why we did that back then, because there was no capes and cows. The reason why we had that in general is because I wanted to do a show with these two guys. And we wanted to figure out a way to do something. So we did that. And then what we realized is that unless it was a movie that people cared about, because we did Toy Story and we had fun doing it, but nobody watched it. So we were like, well, what are we doing here? Should we keep doing this? And like, well, let's just do, because at one point when we were doing the Schmodown thing, we had talked about doing a Capes and Cows type show and those things. And we're like, let's just do it together. So we've been doing, we've been doing the show now 3 years or something like that.
Wow.
So close to it. So leading up to it, probably not, but I probably will do a Man of Steel reaction with Sam because she's never seen that.
Cool.
And maybe even the Fantastic Four movies. I don't know if I want to do that to her though.
Keep her happy.
I know.
A lot of good stuff to watch.
I know, right? Because she's gonna. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Next one here, and that's Brooklyn. Literally just got out of the theater for Cap 4. I had a good time with it. I know Marvel doesn't do director's cut, but do you think it's possible for Cap 4? No, because I don't necessarily know if this was a director's cut as much as like the original version of it. This is more like a Frankenstein thing than anything else. Yeah. Aaron, a creative, do you think an Avenger dies in Doomsday? And who do you think? My pick is Ant-Man. Well, we know what's his face is Deadpool's going to be in trouble, and Thor's going to be holding him. We know that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think Ant-Man's likely. I think Thor gets a Thor 5, so not Thor. I think people will die because I think people's contracts are up.
Yeah, but will it mean anything though anymore? Because everybody comes back anyway.
I mean, like again, we're doing it. The door is always potentially open, but I think we're doing this soft reboot, so people got to go.
Yeah, Madhouse Entertainment. What's up, jokes? Just wondering what you guys think about. Is this Spawn movie ever happening? I mean, if you talk to Todd McFarlane, he's going to tell you it's happening tomorrow. But no, I remember asking when he was on the show. He said, "Yeah, it's happening soon." That was like 6 years ago.
I mean, is George R. Martin never going to finish his books?
Right, same thing. So I don't know. Dave Mack, love this show. Coy, in comics, is Superman's suit indestructible? Batman v Supersuit survives explosions, guns gets burnt and charred. Is there a new suit by the end of the film?
Depends on who's writing. I do think that the gun suit will evolve and change, and that's not from any. I don't know, but I do think that is, seeing it messed up is definitely a different feel. So whether or not that turns into a different suit, I don't know, but I do think that the indestructibility is kind of relative to the thing he's fighting, because the costume is strong, but like Doomsday shattered it. Right, dude's fighting naked or almost naked. So I think it'll depend on which story they're telling and how they're going to navigate it.
Myramouth Hounce, Winston, Coy, thoughts on King's Wonder Woman?
One of the best Wonder Womans I've read since George Perez's. I personally think it's an incredible way to make a very politically charged comic feel real and like our world, but heightened like hers. It blends the world of Themyscira and Washington brilliantly. I love it.
I haven't read it, man. For a second, I was like, which story was that? But yeah, no,
dude. Only 19 issues in. It's so good.
So good.
Wow.
Jay Mobile. Glad to be watching live again, by the way. Thank you, Jay Mobile. Best show on YouTube. Thank you. Saw Cap last night. It was just okay. Not the worst. I'm shocked how much the trailers gave away. Most spoiler Marvel trailers I can remember.
It's up there.
It's Age of Ultron for me.
They were really trying to get people in the theater.
I think that again might be another thing contributing to it. I knew too much.
Yeah. They tried to. They're really trying to get you in the theater with whatever they can, and it might have been a backfire. SJC360. Coy, where'd you get your Superman hoodie? Man,
DC Studios.
There you go.
I do think they will be selling them, but I DC Studios.
I'm a big shot.
I think I saw your co-host at the screening I was at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think
in
so.
New York. Oh, that makes sense. Frankie's out there.
Yeah. Okay. Maramouth Hounce. Goku, Vegeta, or Palaco? That's
it's all good. Goku, Vegeta, or Piccolo. It misspelled Piccolo, but that's totally fine.
Nope.
Gohan.
Vegeta.
Yeah, sure. All right. Joe for show. Any reason Cap for opening only said Brave New World? What else would it have said?
He's talking about the No Marvel fanfare. I was curious about that too.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Sean McCabe, Kristian from Ozone Park. Oh, I see. The wife's from Whitestone. Got it. Close enough. You're the best. You're the best. Sean, did you just find us recently? Because I feel you've been pretty active on the channel lately, and I'm not sure if I haven't seen you before, but I'm glad that you found your way here. Fadil, strongly hate this movie for Mackie overscored. It was overscored, no doubt. Wholly contrived, terribly villained, third act spoiled, easily one of the worst MCU movies in my opinion. Hey, fair enough. I mean, you gave your opinions of why you felt that way. You know,
I'll put it to you this way: if you were breaking up the MCU into thirds, I would argue it is the king of the lower thirds for me.
I feel the same. I think of it as thirds, and this is the top of the bottom.
Yeah. Beagle Studios. Coy, didn't Sam's Cap not sell well in comics when he was first introduced? Why Marvel brought back Steve as Cap and Sam Falcon until now?
Yeah, I was actually just talking about that with my 2014 thing. I think a big problem was it was coming out alongside Winter Soldier, where Captain America as Steve Rogers was peaking, and then they were like, let's make the comic Sam Wilson. I'm like, that's just optically, that's really hard to sell comics when the other guy is doing his best movie to date. I think it would do better Maybe not now, but maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
think
yeah.
it could do well again now because of the movie in the future. But I think the Rick Remender run is slept on, and the Acuna art on the next run is even better. So I think there's a place for it. I just don't know how to sell it with the optics.
Yeah, I think Anthony Mackie's run as Captain America will take him into the Avengers, but he's not getting another movie. I don't think it's going to happen. Corn Emperor, the Fantastic Four trailer actually looked really good in 3D. I didn't see it in 3D. Did you guys see it in 3D?
No, 2D for me.
Oh, that'd be fun. Aaron the Creative. Over or under 60%. Miles Morales appears in Secret Wars.
There's a rumor though that Sony wants to put Miles at the center of their reboot for Spider-Man, like for live action. So I don't know. They should.
Yeah, go under.
I don't know.
I'm going to go under for that reason, and because I think he's going to be after all that, not in that.
Yeah. Gopal, I was actually asking how I or other viewers would do the uncut. Oh, I started one of Real Rejects and switched to the highlights after a couple minutes. Yeah, that basically the way you got to do is you just got to line it up. You got to put that's why I put the time code on. So when you're talking about the reactions, the uncut ones. So when you go to the uncut, you just line it up, and I tell you in the reaction, start it now at 000, and then you watch along from the time code because someone's joined up and didn't know how it worked. Someone signed up on Patreon or membership and said, "What? I tried to watch the whole movie with you guys, but it's just you guys with a time code." I'm like, "Well, I put the whole movie on there. We get a copyright, and you would be able to watch it."
Guys, I got a boogie. I can do like 2 more, and then I got
all right. Okay. Yep. Ray finds as Magneto. Boom. We're almost done too quick. This is. I think we're coming to the end here. DJ Case watched The Gorgeous Morning on Apple TV. Pretty fun little film. Corey said the same.
Literally, like I liked it more than Cap 4. That was my biggest surprise of the year so far. I did a whole review out of sheer passion. I didn't have a.
And you loved it. I'm going to see it. J Mobile, this might be a dumb question. How do I join to be able to watch the full Sam reactions? Watch the Infinity War reaction with my wife, and it took her back to when she was too sobbing like a baby. J Mobile, you just go right near. You should see it on your YouTube thing. It just says become a member. Join, become a member. You get the reactions once they're the raw ones, and you'll be able to get the Infinity War one raw. Armada, whatever happened to that Spielberg DC movie? Oh yeah, was that a thing?
Yeah, Black Cock. Someone.
Black Cock.
Black Cock.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It's a very different movie. Go pal Simon Darren. That's weird. Oh my God. Look how ready he is. Look how ready he is. Get out of here. Close with that one. Close, and I'll do that. Do it. Go find some black cock. All right, so go pal. That's weird. Coy, yeah, it was. My way into this whole world was chaotic, awesome on bite-sized TV in 2014.
We might be cooked, bro. We might be cooked.
We're trying to finish it up, but I mean that was pretty great. Bean Dip Supreme. Only emotion I feel in Brave New World was Isaiah prison visit. Yes, agreed.
Yep.
Agreed. That was pretty solid. We're almost done here. Joe for show. Cap 4 didn't say Captain America Brave New World in the movie's title. I was wondering if there was a reason on Marvel's end for that. Because it probably had a different title at the time. I don't know why they didn't add it in though. So I'm not sure. I don't know. Al Patterson, you guys hear that Disney's Pixar's Ilio has moved back 1 week? No, but that makes sense.
What was it going up against?
Where was it? I saw it in a spot and I remember thinking, well, that's interesting. It's there. Wherever it was, they probably have a better chance to do that. Steph DeGostini. Good day, gentlemen. Where do you think? Oh, he's been asking every day, so I got to make sure I have it. Where do you think Red Hulk will appear next? I don't know if he will. We'll see, but I don't want to spoil anything though. But if he does, maybe in the Avengers.
Based off of this movie, I would definitely say Doomsday, because think about the main thing that he was going on and on about.
Right. Maybe so. And they told me that Harrison Ford, I guess, is locked in to do a couple of these movies. So
actually, maybe Thunderbolts.
Maybe, but I don't think they're gonna go right back to back. Maramouth Haunts, favorite Pokemon, Winston?
Probably Squirtle.
Someone said I guess the Ilio was moved to get away from How to Train Your Dragon live action, which makes sense.
I see. Yeah. That's probably smart.
Last one, Aaron the Creative. I heard a rumor that Marvel is hiding the fact that Sue is pregnant in the Fantastic Four trailers. Do you think Franklin Richard plays a big part of Secret Wars? Yeah,
absolutely. For a number of reasons. The quick summation of all of that. I mean, they were on the Today Show. You don't have a rogue question of someone thinks you might be pregnant. That was clearly set up for them to do that. But also B, if you read Secret Wars, Franklin's powers, because he can reality warp. That's the child of Reed and Sue.
Okay. So he gets them to the new reality. I get it. All right, Winston, that's it. You had a good day today.
It wasn't close.
Not even close. 105 is what you end with. That's a great day normally.
Yeah.
But you would need to get about another 140.
We may not win again until Thunderbolts. Good God.
I don't know, but there's actually one more that came in. Let me get to that. Hold on. There's a new one, and it says this is from Kenya King. We need Mars Attack versus RoboCop, please. That'd be amazing. Actually, one more. Bobby Onse, how dare you, Harloff? Thor: Love and Thunder is leagues better than Raven. Not to me, it isn't. It feels like I'd actually like to see a movie with a story instead of dumb jokes that Saturday Night Live would do. It's a Saturday Night Live dumb movie. It feels like a crazy movie and not a scramble. I couldn't disagree with you more about it.
The funny thing is the through line story type situation feels a little bit better there, but as an overall movie,
it's a mess.
World is definitely better.
It's a movie. It's actually, it takes itself seriously. It's like Thor went from the whole, and especially now after rewatching these movies, Thor went from serious Shakespearean thing to kind of goofy in Love and Thunder, but there's a reason for it. He cracks jokes, but he's so distraught by the time he gets to Endgame, he's so distraught and he's drinking and everything too, but he comes back from all of that to become, who he was again. And then he's a complete goofy moron in the next one. And it's nobody takes it seriously. It's a horrible movie. It might be the worst out of all of them. Jason Ashcroft, Snyder said he heard Marvel is worried about Thunderbolts bombing the box office. Said he heard it's good, but they're afraid. Yeah, I think they probably are afraid, especially after this movie, and it's like the question is there going to be any hype beforehand? So I'm hoping it's good also. And now Joe for show just wants to get me upset. Go Cowboys.
I wish, but I don't believe in Schottenheimer. So I don't know.
We'll see. Well, that's it now. Still 109, not even close. But we got close. We got close enough to something. Well, Winston, thank you for joining us as always. Coy dipped out a little early today, but we got through a lot of it with him. So you make sure you check out Winston's channel. Make sure you check out Coy's channel. We'll be back here next week. Two more. Kenya King, the soundtrack in Cap 4 was so distracting. It was terrible.
The soundtrack stuff didn't bother me. The scoring did.
The score, I think that's what he meant.
Yeah. Because like even in the end, the very end when they roll credits for them to play Kendrick's "I Love Myself" and all that, I thought was great. But I think I wanted to explore more. Yeah. Like there was a whole run with Sam Wilson. I know we got to get out of here. Yeah. The whole idea #NotMyCap. If we had even had more moments of that, and then him again, realizing, I think that would have been
agreed. All right. Well, thank you guys. Enjoy your Valentine's Day and have a great weekend overall. Rocha will be hosting the show on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, my Joe Manganiello interview goes up, and then Thursday I'll be back. So enjoy. Be nice to Roxy and Rocha on Monday. See if they can both shatter the record together. See what that can happen there. So we'll see. So we'll see. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to Winston. Thanks to Coy. We'll see you later. Bye.